And don't forget about Subway. Not only do we serve great Subway sandwiches, but breakfast too. So stop in and see the difference with friendly and helpful employees at the Civic Stop, 3040 Barrow Street next to the Civic Center in Houma.
All right, we are back and we are live and giving you updates. We're going to have the Attorney General, Liz Morrill. She'll be in studio in a little while. I want to ask her about that lawsuit against FEMA. FEMA was here yesterday. We need some action because these parishes, Terrebonne and Lafourche, have spent a lot of their own money fixing levees and making sure people's homes are not flooded. And the way we have been treated by FEMA over the years is ridiculous. And I'm going to ask Ms. Morrill. I know she's an advocate to get the job done for you all, but I'm going to ask her about that because we've about had it up to here with FEMA. The rates are going up. Everybody's paying more for insurance, and we have protected ourselves. We have slowly declined the amount of homes flooded in our parishes, and yet our rates go up. Excuse me, but that's a bunch of BS. So we got to get this under control. We had 12,000 homes flooded in Rita. Then in the following storm, we had 11. Then in Ida, we had 3. Then in this one, as of now, we have 0. We have spent our own money, and then the state pitched in some money to get our stuff straight, and we have. And so where's the reward? We are saving the federal government billions of dollars to not have to come in here and repair things, because if the levees were not here, 12,000 homes would have been flooded in this storm. So we saved them all kinds of money, and they don't give us the money back to build our levees higher, to protect and save them even more money. And trust me, the money they would give back does not equal what we've saved them. There's the payoff, okay? So we'll talk about that. I know the parish president and the energy crews have been working hard to get the power up. I spoke with Ernie Brown a couple of times with Terrebonne Parish government. They are working relentlessly to get the power back on. Jay, can we bring up a graphic on the restoration so far here in the parish? TPCG utilities, 2,200 of 12,800 residents restored, approximately. But that number is going to go up when you watch this program. I know you're watching us live now, but when we re-air this program a little later, those numbers will change. Restoration expected by September 15th. If you are an Entergy customer, 4,000 of 28,000 residents restored. That's approximate again. 90% restoration expected by September 16th. They got our tower site back up. I'm happy about that. Sleeka, 4,000 of 13,000 residents restored. Once again, that's approximated, and we will see that restored as we go. Now, keep in mind, once again, those crews are out there right now. I've saw several crews as I drove around the parish today. They are out. So as I'm talking, power is being restored. So you can see those numbers go up pretty quickly. As I was leaving Mulberry in that area just now, I saw a bunch of trucks assessing the situation. They're running down, checking all the lines out. They don't want to activate lines if somebody has a line down and it might not be obvious to them. So what they're doing, they're asking residents to let them know. So I was talking to them about a line that was down way on the end of the road. It's covered by debris and trees and all. And they were glad to hear that because they don't always see it. So you got to tell them. If you see them, first thing you do is thank them. And then you tell them. All right, that's good information right there. All right, so let's look at the ball water advisory if we can, Jay. There you see it right there. Customers along Highway 55 from 803 Highway 55 to the end of Highway 55, including customers along Aragon Road from 725 Aragon Road to the end of Aragon Road. All customers along Cerro Road, customers from Boudreaux Canal to Cocodrie along Highway 56. all customers along Highway 665, including Island Road. Ball water advisory. This is in effect until September 12th, 2024. While we're at it, let's thank Mike Solbert, too, and the water department around here for checking up and making sure things are working. A lot of people in the utility departments they're inundated with calls, but they are out there and they are making it work. We got the power updates already, so let me go through some of these notes here. And excuse me, folks, I'm trying to keep this voice going, all right? Pod sites, the openings. September 13th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. until further notice at the Barry P. Bonvillain Civic Center, 346 Civic Center Boulevard in Houma. Living Word Church, 1916 Louisiana Highway 311, Shreveport. Ward 75006, Louisiana Highway 56 in Chauvin. Montague Recreation Center, 107 Recreation Drive in Montague. Bayou Blue Fire Station, 1870 Bayou Blue Road in Houma. And let's make sure pod sites, point of distribution sites, MREs, ice, and water will be given out. Pod sites will open once again on Friday, today, September 13th, from noon to 6 p.m. and will remain open every day from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. until further notice. I passed by the Civic Center. There was a large line at the Civic Center. All right, when we come back, Sean Targrimson was out there getting us footage. We have plenty of people lined up for you today. We have Thibodeau representatives. They'll be coming up. We have a lot to come on by your time, so hang on. We're going to ride it as long as we can. We'll be right back.
Bayous are staples of our Southern culture. They have been a source of food, transportation, recreations for generations. Our crews will continue hard working to clean the bayous and keep Terrebonne beautiful in the present and for the future.
Litter doesn't just look bad, it also impacts our drainage systems, ecosystems, and wildlife. Keeping our bayous clean means keeping our drains clean and preserving our wildlife and cultural heritage.
Our bayous are the heart and soul of our parish. That's why I'm proud to announce TPCG's Bayou Revival Campaign. Together, administration with Public Works and Solid Waste will be working to clear debris and litter out of our 5 main bayous. Together, we can move Terrebonne Parish forward. Lashpala Patat.
Working together on a common goal improves neighborhoods, communities, and the parish as a whole.
You can do your part to support our Bayou Revival initiative
By volunteering at local cleanup events, disposing of trash properly, and encouraging your friends and family to take pride in our parish.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your local GMC dealer.
Terrebonne Parish School District is seeking individuals for the following maintenance positions: licensed plumber, electrician, carpenter, HVAC techs with chiller experience, HVAC techs with general experience. These positions have great work environment, excellent benefits, retirement, and insurance. Apply online at tpsd.org. Terrebonne Parish School District, a great place to work.
All right, we are back with the mayor of Thibodaux, Kevin Clement, and the mayor is with us. And once again, Mayor, you know, Thibodaux has just seen, I guess we're so close in proximity. So when anything comes right up Houma, Thibodaux is going to get it, just like Ida. Yeah. And it shifted just a little bit after Ida. So thank God for Thibodaux, but this one came right up the pipe on you guys.
Yeah, I think we took that northeastern eye wall there. You know, I bounced back and forth all week. Go more right. And when it's not going more right, all right, stay left, go west. And then, you know, at the end, you just kind of hunker down and accept the fact that it's coming at you. But man, I'm gonna tell you, we prepared for this storm like it was a Cat 5. Good thing we did, because this one kind of surprised everyone, I believe. Just the amount of water in such a short period of time. And then the winds, and they didn't stop anytime soon. I mean, you and I talked about this yesterday at the Terrebonne EOC meeting. Just when you thought you were looking at the radar and you thought you were out of it, you still had good 60, 70 mile an hour winds that were kind of tail whipping you there. And it just seemed not to end. It just seemed like it was sort of full.
It fooled a lot of people. I talked to the chief last night. Do y'all still have any curfews out? Or give me let's maybe get into the meat and potatoes.
We implemented a curfew last night from 10 p.m. until dawn today, because most of the city, actually the entire city, was without power. So, you know, we went through the proper channels. We got in touch with the parish and the sheriff. We made sure everybody knew about it. And then at 12:30, the city kind of came to life a little bit, maybe about 40%, 50%. As we speak right now, we're about at 80% with power. Most of that green is the incorporated city limits of Thibodaux. Still have some issues. We've got a group from Ryanzi out. Downtown Thibodaux at about 10 o'clock this morning was still out. Acadia Woods, that area is still all the way out. They had some serious tree issues down there. The ground was just so saturated, and the wind was just so strong. That's inevitable in that part of town. So about 80% right now we would have electricity, and we slowly but surely getting back to normal.
Yeah, let me ask you, because y'all got some water in places that you're not used to getting water before, and I guess the problem is we had 13 to 15 inches of rain prior to this. What's the situation with some of the flooding in Thibodaux? And that was unexpected, but you know, when Mother Nature gives you a 1-2 punch, it's hard to fight it, isn't it?
It is. You know, we saw water in places in town that we've never seen water before, certainly not in my 60 years. But I can tell you this, at 10:30, when we were able to get on the streets, when the wind died down a little bit and the rain had stopped, we saw that water receding. So, you know, what we had in place, it's not perfect. There's always going to be work to be done. But what we had in place was working. And that's all you can ask when Mother Nature, like you said, when I think we had 8.5 inches of rain in those 4.5 hours of time period, whenever that happens, you're going to have some serious flooding and some serious issues. And I'll say it, I said it before and I'll say it again. When we had curfews, when we asked the public to acknowledge the streetlight issues and stay off the roads and help out your neighbor, man, they responded. They responded perfect. And, you know, major issues such as looting and crime, we had none of that. Knock on wood, but we had none of that during this storm.
Well, I know the message was sent out to here in Terrebonne, but you got Brian Zarang, who's been with the state police for years, too. So you got a good police chief working under you, and he's got a lot of experience. That helps. How many homes flooded Thibodaux compared to maybe all of Lafourche? Do y'all have numbers?
No, I didn't. I think I heard the sheriff. The sheriff and I were talking yesterday. I think he had somewhere around 20 homes in the parish that flooded. I mean, Archie and I were talking. I think he said something about 20. I think inside the incorporated city limits of Thibodaux, I think we had 20 also. Most of them was in the area of our housing authority and on the backside of Midland Drive, which we know is an issue. We had actually mitigated some of those ditches and drainage issues before hurricane season. So we were proactive with that, with the help of some of our citizens in that area. You know, but once again, so much rain in so little time, you're gonna have some serious issues.
No doubt.
like that.
With about a minute and a half left, shelters, any shelters still open?
The parish didn't open any shelter inside the city. The only shelter that the parish opened that I know of was in Lockport. And look, I'm gonna be honest. I'll take Archie's back a little bit. They had 5 people in that shelter before the storm. So I think this storm caught everybody by surprise. I'm not saying that we would have opened another shelter at Thibodeau High, which is the designated area for the parish to open a shelter. But this one snuck up a little bit on us.
Yeah, and how's the electrical situation now?
Electrical is fine, and we have 80 to 85% of our city has power. We didn't open any pod sites like in Terrebonne. We do have a couple of people wanting to serve hot meals and give out ice and water. We acknowledge the fact that today is okay, but we're trying, and the parish's philosophy and the state's philosophy is let's get back to normal. Let's keep that money and that currency and that circulating and that commerce circulating to our businesses who have done a great job opening up on such short notice with generators. Now that they have power, they're opening up. So that's kind of like this is different. This is different than Ida was. Ida, you needed those pod sites and that kind of stuff. This we want to try to get back to normal, and certainly we helping those people, but we're trying to get back to normal.
All right, Mayor, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us. We have to take a break, but we will be back in touch with you. Once again, the mayor.
Thank you, Martin. Anytime, buddy.
Kevin Clement.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
See your local GMC dealer.
Leg pain, swelling, or ulcers can be signs of vascular disease in the legs. This lack of blood flow can lead to amputation if not treated. Varicose or spider veins may also be signs of venous disease and are more than just a cosmetic problem. Trust the most advanced team of leg pain specialists at Cardiovascular Institute of the South to reopen blockages in the legs and offer minimally invasive in-clinic vein treatments. If you experience leg pain, swelling, or have visible veins, schedule an appointment with us today at cardio.com.
Broussard's Automotive Repair and Tires, your trusted destination for automotive excellence in Houma. We proudly feature the ASC certified expertise of our team with an ASC Master Certified Mechanic always on duty. Locally owned and operated, Broussard's Automotive Repair and Tires is committed to ensuring your vehicle runs smoothly and safely. Our hours are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. Broussard's Automotive Repair and Tires. Quality service at a great price.
My name is Joshua Van Buren. I've been a firefighter for 14 years. A firefighter is a person who answers the call. It can be a mother, a father, a son, a brother. I think it actually chose me, honestly. I really wanted to find something that not just be a job. I wanted to feel like I was serving my purpose. It's almost like you a superhero.
Dive into Sportsman's Paradise at Sportsman Cycle and Marine. We're your new exclusive dealer for E-Z-GO golf carts in St. Mary Parish. See the whole line, plus a full inventory of Sea-Doos and Yamaha Wave Runners, Honda and Yamaha Power Sports, and a huge variety of utility and off-road vehicles, plus a wide selection of accessories for everything in stock. Come visit our new 26,000-foot facility on Highway 182 in Morgan City, packed with the rides you need to live your adventure. Sportsman Cycle and Marine.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff. right, we're back. We're waiting on the Attorney General, Liz Morrill. She'll be in the studio in short order. We're going to talk to her about a lot of things, including FEMA and four-letter word. Okay, but we will talk to her about it. Now, Sean Torgrimson of HTV was in the Morgan City area. Let's start rolling in some footage of Morgan City just while we talk. This is a house of Eric Blanchard on Walnut Drive in the Lakeside subdivision of Morgan City. And Morgan City got some pretty good winds too. I don't know if Morgan City ever saw the eye, but remember, we were following this thing through and it looked like Morgan City was definitely going to be in the eye. They were in that northern wall for a long time, but then all of a sudden it shifted to Houma, caught eastern part of Morgan City and pretty much all of Houma and a lot of Lafourche. So I still call this one the schizophrenic hurricane, because that's exactly what it was. Now, he had a majority of his roof was lost during the storm, and surrounding houses still running on generator power. So once again, our friends in St. Mary Parish, we want to send a crew out there and check on you all, because you also experienced a lot of the brunt of this storm. And that's what we're going to talk about. The one thing that concerns me as we look at this footage from Morgan City, and I asked this question to the governor and to Garrett Graves and to the parish presidents, is the fact that some folks in this area were still waiting on monies from their insurance companies from Hurricane Ida. Now, what happens when another storm comes through and either you got more damage? What happens if you switched insurance companies along the way and the insurance companies start squabbling over, well, that happened before, and then we get in another fight, So we want to ask that to the Attorney General. And then this was taken, let's go to another video roll that Sean had. This was taken where the thigh knee-high water was in the street. Okay, this is let's see, let me find this one. This is, where's this at, Eric? Sean? Okay, this is MLK Boulevard, right? Okay. And Allison Street in Morgan City. And we're looking across to the Morgan City Auditorium where the National Guard and the city of Morgan City is staging equipment. And they need personnel, and they have personnel to help the people of Morgan City. So that is going on in Morgan City as we speak. So, I want to make sure that the people of Morgan City get recognized too, because, look, I got to tell you, when we were calling them on the air to come on and give us information, anyone we called, any public official we called in St. Mary Parish was on the spot, came through, talked to us, and we appreciate that. Because remember, when we're coming with a storm from west to east, they become the first line of defense. So they're experiencing a lot of things beforehand, just like Grand Isle experiences things when the storm is coming from east to west. We rely on information, and parish presidents rely on each other to get information as this is all starting to take place. And there you can see, looks like supplies being brought in. Yeah, Convoy of Hope is in the area, and there's a lot of other people. That'll give me a chance. Let me go to I'm going to go to messages. Let's see. Monica Martinez had sent me a message. She wanted to let everybody know that Macro Company from Lafayette will be in Houma to assist in recovery efforts also. And she wanted to share this information. So I guess if you go to Macro Company from Lafayette, you can get information on that. So there's a lot of people that are, pitching in and doing a lot of different things. Let's roll in some more. These are linemen, I think, that we're going to look at. There you go. the linemen who are working on the power lines and the telephone poles on West Main Street in between Coteau Road and Patrick Bridge, this is happening across the parish. The parish presidents, the utility companies, the managers of those companies have done a knockout job of getting people out quick. It doesn't happen overnight, folks. You got to get the poles up. Then you got to check the lines. Then you got to go all the way down the lines to make sure there's no lines on the ground. Before you energize the lines, you got to make sure that nobody's going to get hurt when you energize the lines. So if you see people out there scouting the lines, then they sort of leave. A lot of people are telling me, well, they just look at it and leave. Well, yeah, they got to assess the lines all the way down. They can't look up right here and say, okay, everything's good, hit the line, because 500 feet down the road, somebody's line might be laying in their yard. So they're assessing the whole situation. They know from points to point that they have to organize and get this done and keep everybody in the loop. And real quick, let's go to the next one at the Southland Mall. We're going to work them into this real quick. There you go. Stage, bucket trucks and equipment in the Southland Mall parking lot. We appreciate all the utility companies. We'll be right back.
South Louisiana's Bayou region is home to incredible people in critical industries that power our nation. In Congress, I've worked to advance important flood protection projects, unleash American energy production, secure funding for our ports and waterways, and prioritize Louisiana's farmers and fishermen, because our people and our way of life are worth protecting. I'm Clay Higgins, and I approve this message.
Gators Power Systems is the area's leading Kohler standby generator solution, specializing in maintenance, repair, and installation on all major brands, from gas to diesel and 2kW to 2000. Home or commercial, our team has you covered. Our factory-certified technicians and installers are highly trained to provide response and repair when you need it the most. We service what we sell, period. Trust the Gators, where we sink our teeth in the service.
It's truck season at A.J. Doman Chevrolet. Save thousands on all remaining 24 models and get financing as low as 5.9 for 84 months. Looking for a commercial truck? Come see us. We're your local business elite dealer with a huge selection of work-ready trucks in stock. No credit, bad credit, upside down. We say yes when others say no. A.J. Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we know the importance of working together as a team.
We're always here for you when you need a loan. By the way, here's that crawfish paddle you needed. You can borrow it anytime.
So whether it's business or personal banking, we do it all. Visit our locations to find out how we can support your financial needs.
Good luck with the restaurant.
Thank you. And tell your mama thanks for the recipe. Her secret's safe with me.
I will.
South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Since 1988, Quality Rental Tools has provided specialized products to the oil and gas industry. Our locations allow for quick service to both land and marine operations. At Quality Rental, our name represents our commitment to our customers. Our uncompromising principles help us remain a strong and vibrant member of the oil and gas industry. To order any of our products for offshore and land needs, call us today at 1-888-922-3449. Quality Rental Tools, our name says it all.
Do you or a loved one need help dealing with opioid use? There is help nearby. Go to opioidhelpla.org. There you will find medication and outpatient therapy nearby. Telehealth may be available. Uninsured or on Medicaid, there's help. You can be prescribed medication like Suboxone in an office-based opioid treatment site. You keep your job. You work toward a healthy lifestyle, and we help you recover. Opioidhelpla.org. Help is closer than you think.
All right, welcome back. We continue to bring you information. We're awaiting the Louisiana Attorney General, Liz Morrell, and she will talk a lot about FEMA. I'm sure she was at the EOC and moving around different parts of the parish today. So we will talk with her as soon as she gets in. We'll bring, you know how we do it live when we're on Bayou time and storm situations. We bring them right on the set, and we let them get warmed up, do a few calisthenics, and then we rock and roll, and we get you as much information as we can. But let's roll in some of the footage that we have from Dwayne Dupree and others. This was shot right off the Intracoastal in Houma. This was right before the worst part. I got to be honest. I was sitting here and talking about these particular scenes and watching this footage and watching it live as it was going down, and I'm going, okay, not too bad. But little did I know what was happening right in front of us, and I have to believe, and I don't know for a fact, but I've been here for many storms since 1985, and what I was seeing was it looked like vortices that were in the eye. And I remember telling everybody, you know, what is that? It looks like little tornadoes in the eye. It was really on the eastern side of the eye. And what it really was, when we break it down now, when we measured in between the eastern and the western side on the right eye wall, there were two different eye walls. And one measured 98, and I think the other 96, and right in the middle measured 0. I truly believe that in this storm, there was something, another eye wall trying to develop or trying to knock the old one out or something, because I went during the break, and when I stuck my head outside and I walked outside, a garbage can flew right by me. Yeah, we have the Attorney General in the house today, and she's going to come join us live. But when I walked outside and I saw that wind the way it was, I realized that the eastern eye wall was trying to reconfigure right over Terrebonne Parish. And it was a phenomenon that I never saw. Miss Attorney General, welcome live. How you doing?
Keep talking.
You doing okay?
I'm doing
Have a seat. Good to see you, Liz.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
And so it was just something that we hadn't seen. And let's roll some more of that footage as we saw. This was right before the eye wall. We'll show some of that wind footage, Jay, if we can. I think on the first, yeah. So this was right before, and we really didn't think we were going to get too much. And then all of a sudden, I truly believe, just like Ida, this thing was getting stronger as it sat over Terrebonne Parish. Because right here, this isn't the worst part. After that, when I told the camera people, okay, come back to HTV, it looks like things are going to get a little better, they got worse. So I really think it was something going on. So the Attorney General, Liz Morrell, is here on the set. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm coming to check on everybody else.
You've been busy. So I saw you yesterday at the EOC,
yeah.
And we're going to get to FEMA and all the things you're trying to do. But where were you today?
Today I came here first.
Okay.
Actually stopped on our way into Gray and to the EOC again. I stopped in Thibodaux and dropped off some donuts to the district attorney who's trying to clean up the district attorney's office, and I think helping. They have damage at the courthouse and damage at the clerk's office and damage at the DA's office. So, you know, really impedes our ability to keep moving forward with cases. The judges their courtrooms are damaged, and so we got stocked pretty good. I mean, for a storm that we know could have been worse, it still gave us a pretty good whipping.
As long as you don't bring donuts to my good buddy Joe Waits, we're all right.
Well, I brought them to the good folks over at the EOC who've been working really hard. I know they've been working hard here and trying to protect everybody and monitor what was happening during the storm. And those are long days and long nights.
I know you have to be proud that, especially in Terrebonne Parish, the judges and the DA, Joe came on twice and said this could be $1 million if you're caught looting.
Yes,
and I know you feel strongly about that too.
The sheriff was very firm on that point, and the DA was firm on that point, and it's important because that is a time when people are already vulnerable and they've left their homes, or and they could be in their homes, but especially when we have evacuation orders, whether it's voluntary or mandatory, and somebody comes in here and tries to take your property from you, it hurts our ability to move people out. They don't want to leave their homes if they think that they might be subject to looting, and so it is important that we have extremely strong and fast consequences for people who are looting, because we can't afford to have people afraid to leave their homes because they're going to lose their property to looters.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how it's going with FEMA. And you were in the room with FEMA yesterday, so I wish I could have been a fly on the wall in that meeting, because Garrett Graves sort of told me that the point was made. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about how people are confused around here. They don't know about insurance, what to do. They don't know about FEMA. And excuse my French, but I said it's a bunch of BS a while ago, and it is. But we're going to let you have the floor after this. I know you're working
there's a lot
hard
to talk about.
I know you haven't. You're working hard to correct that. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Whitson Downer. You or someone close to you has just lost a loved one to someone's negligence. How did this happen? And why is it so hard to get information? In times like these, there is one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Waits & Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Waits & Downer.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering healthcare to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
We're here once again in Cocodrie, reporting to you for Tri-Parish News.
For over 40 years, I, along with my team, have had the distinct pleasure of archiving special events and special people in our area. When I was a young reporter, I never realized how important those seemingly routine interviews would become. And as we have made our journey through the television industry, the most important memories to us have been captured through the lens of a camera and a microphone. We just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of those who have given us our start and continue to support us 40 years into our great journey. When you signed on back then and still today, you are helping preserve the precious moments that will be archived for future generations. It's been a joy, and we thank you here at HTV. HTV, preserving the past and moving into the future.
All right, we are back with the Attorney General of the state of Louisiana, Liz Morrell. And, you know, that EOC meeting yesterday, like I said, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. And from what I understand from people who were in it, there was a sense of passion, and FEMA was there. And I don't want to waste all my time talking about FEMA because I'm going to get aggravated. So I'm going to just turn it over to you. And did they get the point yesterday that we have protected ourselves for all these years and we need a little love?
Well, you know, the FEMA administrator was there. She's the big dog at FEMA. And so I think that, you know, everybody wanted to take the opportunity to bring that point home, that the taxpayers of Terrebonne Parish have committed to protecting themselves, that there's been a lot of investments here, that people here have voted to tax themselves and pay for flood protection. And FEMA's not giving us credit for that. And so they benefit from it because they're not having to pay the damages from the investments that would have been caused, that they would be picking up the tab for, had the taxpayers here not invested in that protection to protect themselves and their own property. So, you know, we ought to be getting credit for it. The people here ought to be getting credit for it. That point was made very clearly. We also had a discussion about risk 2.0. and how much that is impacting people in this parish and in Lafourche Parish, and how flawed those metrics are. I was not real happy with her reaction. I felt like it was mostly talking points that she's trying to give. Garrett Graves did push back pretty hard because she made some comments about some things that maybe need to be given some consideration, and he pointed out that those things should have been taken into account before they built the calculator.
Yeah.
And
Shouldn't
that's
they
a
have gone
point
to
that we tried
Congress
to
with
make.
that?
Well, Congress, I think that FEMA has taken great liberties in creating a calculation and a program that Congress did not intend.
Correct.
Congress intended for there to be an affordable safety net program. That's what the NFIP program is. It's for people who can't afford to buy insurance on the private market. And FEMA comes in and draws these maps. Then they tell us, they put people into special flood zones. If you have a mortgage, then you are required to get flood insurance. If you want to be eligible for other FEMA benefits in a disaster, then you need to have flood insurance. So there's a lot of requirements that come into play when you don't have that flood insurance. And so people have to buy it, and then they jack the prices up. And they've done that in some ways that we think are incredibly unfair. There are some people, wonderful people down here, Dwayne Bourgeois, Corey Keefe. I mean, they have come, they have spent, I can't even tell you how much time and energy trying to explain and dig into the details of the flaws in this program. And they've educated me about it enough to be able to file the FEMA 2.0 lawsuit. We're just hoping that we can eventually get some relief either through Congress or through the courts, and by recognizing that there is a flawed metric. FEMA has actually acknowledged that. They've said it in Congress. They have said that the metric doesn't take into account things that it should take into account, but they refuse to pull it back.
We have saved them billions. Garrett was on this news desk for Ida, and it was funny. All the public officials were coming on. By the time we were finished, we had 7 or 8 people sitting there. We have saved the feds billions of dollars in damage.
At least $2 billion.
Yeah,
at least $2
if we
billion.
wouldn't have had these flood walls for this storm, 12 to 14,000 homes flooded.
Right.
The
Whole
feds
community.
would have had to been paying for this. I don't understand why they just can't understand that.
Well, and at the very least, give people credit in their flood insurance rates.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there are other ways that they could give us credit for that too, but it certainly affects people very personally when they are having to decide whether they can still have a home. Because they can't afford to have that home anymore because FEMA has made it unaffordable to own a home.
And that's the other problem. People are really considering moving out of Terrebonne Parish.
Yeah.
Because, and I sort of joked yesterday, Archie always says, well, we'll welcome Terrebonne Parish people, but they say it in jest, but the reality is it may get to a point one day that if we don't correct this soon, we're going to lose a large part of Terrebonne Parish.
Well, and I mean, we keep asking and looking at this program to determine whether that is in fact their objective. One of the FEMA administrator yesterday made a comment about when we talked about affordability or the lack of affordability in this program, and how Risk 2.0 has made that exponentially worse. And her answer was that they needed to be able to make it affordable for those people who need it the most. In other words, low-income communities. And I keep saying these are working communities. These are not rich communities. These are working communities. We are communities that supply labor for the coast and for our port, and which supplies energy to the entire United States of America.
And to the shipyards that are building ships for them, the feds.
So the idea that somehow this program is being abused by rich people who shouldn't be collecting money from, or be getting the benefit of lower rates, it's simply not true. And I hoped that when she could see that when she flew over our communities, that these are modest communities. Most people have modest homes, and they are just trying to keep the property that they've had for a very long time. And And so, you know, it's a message that I hope got through. I hope she could see that by coming here. But it's, you know, she indicated to me that she needed an act of Congress to be able to make the rates affordable. And I think that's a ridiculous statement, quite frankly.
And she needs, the Corps sort of changed their tune with allowing us to do things. Maybe FEMA needs to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think, you know, and it takes a lot to convince the Corps. We did push the Corps as well in some of our meetings, both at the UCG meetings and in one-on-one meetings with them, to try and move the permitting process faster, because with these flood protection and flood gates and things like that we're trying to put in place, it saves communities and it saves FEMA and the taxpayers for the entire country money. It protects those communities, and they should recognize that and move those permits forward so that we can put that protection in place.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll come right back. Another short segment with the Attorney General. She's busy. She has to get places, so we're not going to take too much of her time. We'll be right back.
Weights and Downer. You or someone you know has lost the ability to earn a living because someone put the company interests before their well-being. In times like these, there's one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Weights and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Weights and Downer. Let us fight for your rights.
For 4 decades, Cardiovascular Institute of the South and Terrebonne General Health System have partnered to deliver a legacy of cardiovascular innovation. We lead the state in advanced programs and complex procedures that you won't find anywhere else. Our specialized treatments for peripheral vascular disease, artery and vein disease, heart valve and structure conditions, arrhythmias, and more attract patients from around the world. Together, we deliver the cardiovascular care that you deserve. Visit tgncis.com to learn more.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey, a girl's got a fish. We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you boiling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
Since 1911, the Pierre Part Store has been your one-stop shop. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, the Pierre Part Store has served the community by providing groceries, hardware, home products, and much more, including a full-service lumber yard. Now, we've added the Thibodaux store to the family with the same values and service we've delivered for over 100 years. The Pierre Part Store and the Thibodaux store, our family serving your family.
All right, we're back with the Attorney General, State of Louisiana, Liz Morrell, and she's given us some good tips along the way, and she's brought a pamphlet, and I'm going to let her talk about it because a lot of you out there, you got scammed in Ida. And the reason I know, you called us every night on Bayou Time and told us about it. So the guard is up now, right? We got smart over the years, and we sort of know it. What can people do to protect themselves?
So there's a lot of things that they can do, and I would say one quick tip that I discussed with Jason Bergeron just a little while ago is to make sure that they have an occupational license from this parish. That is a requirement to do business in this parish. So if someone comes in and wants to work for you, ask them for a copy of their occupational license. They should carry it with them. They are also supposed to be licensed. If they're contractors, they're supposed to be licensed through the State Licensing Board for Contractors, and you can check on that too. We have some more information in this pamphlet. And we also have a model contract that's available on our website, www.aglizmerle.com. That I think is very helpful. There are some other things that people can do. Common sense tips like don't give people a bunch of cash up front. That is a red flag if they're asking for that. If they tell you that you don't need to read the contract, or that you don't have to worry about it because your insurance is going to pay for all of it. All of those things are red flags. You should always read the contract. You should read that fine print. I have found that my own mother was a victim of not reading a contract, and the contract was on an iPad. And so all that fine print was on the iPad, and the guy just kept scanning through it saying, all you have to do is initial here, initial here, initial here, and I'll explain what all that means to you. You cannot rely on what they are explaining to you. You need to read the contract yourself.
Because they could print the page and just put that one at the end of another page, right?
There's a lot of fine print in there. It's usually not to your benefit. It's to the contractor's benefit. And people who are truly engaging in fraud, their phone number might not be accurate, or they may cut that phone number off as soon as they leave here. That's why you want to make sure that they have ties to this community. Having an occupational license here in this community means they probably had to obtain it before the storm. So, I think that at least shows you that they did go through some proper channels here to be licensed to do business here, and somebody checked on whether they have an actual address and a phone number and have some ties to our state.
Yeah, there's a lot of people cutting trees that just go over, and I know those, they want a lot of cash. Now, there's some legit ones, no doubt, they want to. But there's a lot of them saying, look, just give me 800. We normally charge 1,500. Give me 800. We'll cut it. We got to be careful there too. You've
got to be careful. And I think finding, asking for references, asking around to see what actually is a fair price to pay for something. That is exactly what happened to my mother. She paid an extraordinary amount of money to have a tree removed from her front yard. It was too much money. The contractor said that there would be no charges to her, that her insurance would cover all of it. And in fact, that's not accurate. That's not what the contract said. And 2 years later, he sued her for the money that he believed he was owed. So, I think that you've got to be very careful about all of these people when they're coming in. One of the things that we tell people, which I think is hard, because you've been impacted by the storm, you want to get things back in shape quickly. You're afraid that there might not be labor available to do that, and so somebody comes in and says, "I've got 10 people waiting in line, but if you sign this right now, I'll put you at the top of the list." That's a red flag. You do need to take a breath. If your home is, if you have water coming into your home and you need a tarp, there's a tarp program that will, and I didn't see quite as much roof damage, but we've had this before, right? So it never hurts to talk about these things. The tarp program, nobody charges you money to put a tarp on your house. And then you can take a breath and think about what needs to be done and make sure that you aren't acting too much in haste. I think some of these problems happen because people are acting too much in haste. And even though we give a lot of information out, it's good information and it's helpful information. If you're reacting emotionally and out of fear, then you're much more likely to be taken advantage of.
Just real quick, we got about a minute and a half left, but insurance company, if somebody got damaged during this storm, but they just switched insurance companies, they're still waiting on payment from their old insurance company, do you expect you're going to see inter-insurance wars saying, I'm not responsible for that?
I do. I think that happens very often. And the insurance company, the new insurance company, is legitimately not responsible for the damage that was caused when they were not insuring your property. So they're going to say, we want to know what's our responsibility and what's there. A good insurance company is still going to do that. And an insurance company who may not be as interested in resolving your claim as quickly is still probably going to do that and may drag it out a lot longer. So the insurance companies are required legally to act in good faith and to try and adjust those claims quickly and efficiently. We've all been through lengthy claims adjusting, and it's frustrating, but it's part of the drill. It is part of what we continue to go through, and I think that every storm brings a lot of insurance fights.
Well, Ms. Attorney General, thank you for coming down. We appreciate your vigor, appreciate you going and get it for the people, and I know they appreciate seeing you down in the areas, but as always, thank you for paying us a visit.
Well, it's great to be here. We'll keep coming down. We want to make sure that everybody has all the tools that they need to fight fraud, and just to show support for the community when you're in need and all of the time. But we're glad to be here, and we'll continue to be here.
All right, there you have the Attorney General, Liz Morrell, and thank her staff, too. They're all in the studio here and doing a good job of keeping her moving in different directions. All right, we'll be right back. We'll have the parish president of Terrebonne coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Waits and Downer. You or someone close to you has just lost a loved one to someone's negligence. How did this happen? And why is it so hard to get information? In times like these, there is one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Waits and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Waits and Downer.
Terrebonne Parish School District is now hiring bus drivers. A valid CDL is required. If you don't have a CDL, we will train you. You must be able to pass a medical health exam and a drug test. Salary range is $19,253 to $29,859. Benefits include free health insurance and retirement. Contact the TPSB Transportation Office at 985-876-7400.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your local GMC dealer.
The recent oil spill on Bayou Lafourche has many wondering, how will this affect my health? What will this do to my property value? What if I make a living from these waters? At Waits and Downer, our years of experience puts us in a unique position to help you navigate through this impact. If you or a loved one has been affected by this spill, let our law firm help you out. Waits and Downer, helping you navigate through catastrophic impacts. Call us today at 985-876-0870.
All right, welcome back. We are trying to bring in as many people as we can. I know the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, she's trying to get on to give you some information. Scheduling has been crazy, to say the least, because people are everywhere. Levy districts doing a lot of work, parish presidents doing a lot of work, and the crews and the support staff for all of these agencies are very busy and doing a lot of things, as we are at HTV. My crew doing a great job of trying to decipher information, get information, trying to, it's funny because I get it. In a storm, everybody wants you to be exactly where they live. And it's hard. There's only a certain amount of people, certain amount of crew to get exactly where you live. So you sort of pick and choose. You sort of say, okay, what can I tell them that will give them some relief? That's why the Attorney General, who just sat here and did an interview with me, it's so important to hear from her what's going on, because, she's the one that's going to fight this fight in court if we need to. So that's a good thing. And I'm just checking to make sure we don't have anybody walking in that I can bring up. So very, very important that if you see something with your electrical lines and you see the utility workers in the area, to let them know, because sometimes these lines are covered by debris. If they don't know there was a line there, there's a lot of out-of-town companies and linemen who come in. Like when I just told somebody this morning around my home that there's a line under that debris, and I pointed it out. They went, hold it. They told about it, hold what you got. They got to go check that. They might not be aware unless you tell them. But once again, I started the conversation by thanking them because they're doing a knockout job. They come in, they leave their families, they come in. That's what they do. So let's roll in some B-roll, Jay, just to remind people. We'll show some footage that we had that Dwayne Dupre shot, just to remind people that just a couple of days ago, we had a pretty good storm coming right here in Terrebonne Parish. And this was right before we got locked into that eastern eye wall. Now, as we look at this footage, I'm going to come across and tell you that we will have the Levy district on. There has been just a tremendous surge held back by the levee systems in Terrebonne Parish. Not so much Lafourche on this one, because Lafourche had the chance to hold back Ida. Terrebonne Parish held back Francine, and it held in some parts 11 feet of water. Now, yeah, people say, well, 11 feet, we had 10-foot levees in some places. Yes, that's correct. And it overtopped in some areas, but the redundant levees took care of that 1 foot. Now, they do plan on bringing these levees up, and they certainly are going to do their best, but that's where the argument with FEMA comes into play. And it is so important that we fight as a community. And I know a lot of questioning at the EOC yesterday was probably pretty direct, but the reason I did it, the FEMA lady was there, and I wanted her to hear the fact that, we sat up on this news desk for Ida with Garrett Graves, and Garrett, I think he got into her grill a little bit yesterday. We have spent so much money protecting ourselves in Terrebonne and Lafourche. And instead of being rewarded, we get penalized. So in other words, if a catastrophe happens in another part of the country and they're not protected, then the feds throw money at it. Yet, we're asking for help to keep building and to turn millions into billions in saving for the federal government, because if we save 14,000 homes from being flooded because we built up to 10 feet, and if we save just guaranteed savings, if we go to 15 feet for a Cat 3 or 4 or 5, which makes a big difference. And Jay, maybe roll in some of that footage we had of the levees at any point. I don't know if you have B-roll of that, but it's a no-brainer to us, folks. And some of these things just get caught up in the bureaucratic BS, and we have to deal with that here in the area. And people are getting tired. They're tired of dealing with FEMA. They're tired of 2.0. They're tired of just the arrogant responses we get. And I think that's what you heard just from the grapevine talking yesterday, that Garrett Graves got into their grill pretty good in that meeting. And that's some of the things we have to address as a people. And this is some of the slides. This is Reach G. And you can see, and that really doesn't do it a whole lot of justice because you're up in the air. But if you're on that levee and you're looking at it, Jay, can we move some more? I don't know if you have any more. And if you could see from the vantage point of being on the ground, what it holds back, then you would get a better picture of it. Let's just keep moving through those slides. We've got about 56 seconds left on this segment. Look at the debris. That's how much water it stopped. Now, that's a good picture because it was right on the top of the levees. And so right here, probably only had another foot or two before it was rolling over. But look at the debris sitting on top of the levee. And I'm sure there's some scouring. I'm sure there's going to be some work. But amen for the levees in Terrebonne Parish, and amen for the levees in Lafourche, and amen for the structural walls in Morgan City. They do a great job of protecting a lot of people. And like I said, we went from 12,000 homes flooded to 11 to 3 to 0 from what I'm hearing. So let's take a break. We're going to come back with more. Trying to contact the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Jason Bergeron. We'll try to get him on the set.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
For 4 decades, Cardiovascular Institute of the South and Terrebonne General Health System have partnered to deliver a legacy of cardiovascular innovation. We lead the state in advanced programs and complex procedures that you won't find anywhere else. Our specialized treatments for peripheral vascular disease, artery and vein disease, heart valve and structure conditions, arrhythmias, and more attract patients from around the world. Together, we deliver the cardiovascular care that you deserve. Visit tgncis.com to learn more.
Every day, thousands of people hit the road heading towards their dreams. But sometimes those dreams collide with a harsh reality. Auto accidents with 18-wheelers can change lives in an instant. That's why you need the experience and expertise of St. Martin and Bork. With over 50 years of experience, St. Martin and Bork have fought for justice for the victims of truck accidents.
If you've been in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, know your rights.
Call St. Martin and Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
Looking for a new ride but short on cash? Come on down to AJ Doman Chevrolet for the Bravo Day sale event going on now. Save on all used cars and trucks. We've got $500 down payment assistance and financing as low as 1.9 for 36 months on over 35 different models. No credit, bad credit, upside down, we can help. We say yes when others say no. AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
All right, welcome back. We continue to bring public officials in to talk about the storm and the aftermath. Mostly interested, I brought you information on utilities and power and all that type of thing. And it's so different from Ida. Remember Ida had the water lines was severed, different things. Haven't heard a lot of reports of water being low, but then again, you know, I might hear it when I say it. And I'm sorry, Jason. Okay, we have parish president will be here within the hour. One of the things we were talking about was the fact, and I kept saying it, was the fact that this storm seemed to be intensifying as it was right over us. Well, let's talk about this because there's something called the brown ocean effect. It's an observed weather phenomenon involving some tropical cyclones after landfall. Normally, hurricanes and tropical storms lose strength when they make landfall. But when the brown ocean effect is in play, tropical cyclones maintain strength or even intensify over land surfaces. One source of the brown ocean effect has been identified as the large amount of latent heat that can be released from extremely wet soils. Well, imagine that. We had soils, they were wet, and they had a lot of heat prior to this storm. A 2013 NASA study found that from 1979 through 2008, 45 of 227 tropical storms either gained or maintained strength after making landfall. Remember Ida? That thing became a monster when it was right over Terrebonne Parish. Well, the press release stated, and I quote, "The land essentially mimics the moisture-rich environment of the ocean where the storm originated." That makes sense. The storms need moisture, and that's what we had. We had a lot of moisture on the property. So originally, research devoted to extratropical cyclone storms at first derive energy from the warm ocean waters and later from the conjecture of various air masses, explain the intensification of storms after landfall. However, as research into these storms persists, the two leading scientists behind the NASA study discovered that some of these storms were not transitioning from warm core to cold core, but were actually maintaining their warm core dynamics while ultimately outputting a greater measure of rainfall. In order for the brown ocean effect to take place, three land conditions must be met. First, the lower level of the atmosphere mimics a tropical atmosphere where minimal variation in temperature. Second, soils in the vicinity of the storms need to maintain or contain ample moisture. Finally, evaporation of the soil moisture releases latent heat, which the team found must measure at least 70 watts average per square meter. Storm systems impacted by the brown ocean effect gave rise to a new subcategory of tropical storm type called Tropical Cyclone Maintenance and Intensification Event, or TCMI. Another study concluded that latent surface heat flux from land surfaces actually have the potential to be larger than from the ocean, albeit for brief periods only. So, Anderson and Shepard, the two scientists, are also examining the effects of climate changes on TCMIs, looking into the potential intensification of these storms due to increase or decrease in the degree of wetness and dryness in areas susceptible to these systems. Now, let me look and see some that they have different ones. I'm going to see if any of them had actually passed Hurricane Ida, the very most powerful Hurricane Ida of 2001, which struck Louisiana, continued to maintain Category 4 winds some hours after landfall. Let me correct them here. Nope, we had Category 5 winds in Grand Isle, Terrebonne Parish, Golden Meadow. So they better reconsider the wind speed that came across. So once again, this could be the reason that intensification was still taking place here in Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. When we all thought this storm should be subsiding, it was not. And I'm sitting here telling you this storm was getting stronger. When I sent crews out and we were filming and that storm was onshore, it got stronger once these shots we're showing you were taken in the weak part of the storm. And, you know, once we were deploying and coming in and rolling some film and everything, and then when I went outside and I thought we should be in the eye, we weren't. It was actually some kind of phenomenon on the eastern eye wall, which it seemed like radar and satellite weren't picking up. But this storm blew winds for 6 or 7 hours after the tail end came by. It just seemed like some of these were invisible to the radar. But there were two parts of that eastern eye wall. One measured 98, the other 96, and in between it was 0 miles per hour. So I don't know if another eye wall was trying to replace the old eye wall. Not sure of that. So anyway, that's some interesting information. And I was just trying to try to understand why storms get stronger. Ida got stronger, it seemed, right when it was sitting over Terrebonne Parish. And so did Francine. So that's just food for thought. Not saying it happened here. I'm just saying something's going on, and we need to look at everything that's going on so we can understand when we're reporting to get people really prepared for one higher than it always is. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You just have to get in the seat of a John Deere Z530M mower. Not because of its superior comfort, or because of its precise cut. Not even because of how fast it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Because fresh cut grass smells a whole lot better in real life.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Domestic violence is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? The Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office is dedicated to ending domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women. If you are a victim of abuse, call the Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office at 873-6500.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you are in a lush Vegas-style casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area. So stop by Big Wheels Travel Center where everyone's a winner.
I was coaching softball at Vanderbilt and was the athletic director at Vanderbilt. We won 5 state championships in a row. We won 118 ball games in a row, which is still a national record, I think a high school record. Martin really began HTV by coming over to Vanderbilt and filming some of our softball games. I've been named, I think, 4 Hall of Fames, the Vanderbilt Catholic High Hall of Fame, the Softball Hall of Fame in the state of Louisiana, the Coaches Hall of Fame in the state of Louisiana, the Bayou Region Hall of Fame. And I would have never got those awards and notoriety if it wouldn't have been for HTV. And I'm very appreciative of that.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number 1 grocery store
In Mississippi,
Alabama, Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
You just have to get in the seat of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Not because of how easy it is to use, or because of our expert dealers. Not even because it has implements for every job. You just have to get in the seat, because breaking ground on your dream home feels pretty great.
Terrebonne General Multi-Specialty Clinic, we're dedicated to your well-being. Our expert team of healthcare professionals offers convenient, comprehensive medical care in one trusted location. Whether you're dealing with common illnesses like cold and flu, diabetes, breathing issues, or need help managing your health, our caring and knowledgeable staff are here to treat your symptoms. Call 985-873-4729 or visit tghealthsystem.com to schedule your same or next day appointment.
All right, welcome back. We're also going to have the Terrebonne Levy District that's going to be coming on. You know, sometimes after 2, we got Paula Rome, Customer Service Manager for the Bayou region with Energy. She'll be covering, let's see, Bayou region, we got Amanda Edge, Customer Service Manager for Energy in Monroe. covering Terrebonne restoration. Paula is covering Lafourche's restoration. So we'll talk to her. And we're just going to bring you as much information as we can. We have the parish president's on his way here in a little bit. That'll be Jason Bergeron. And other than that, we're just trying to give you information that's pertinent to what we're doing. Now, Jason, if y'all can give me those football games too that have been rescheduled for high school, I want to tell that to the audience. I'm sorry, was that Sean? All right, yeah, get the times and. Okay, Paula and Angela will be on at the same time. Are they coming by Skype or in person? Do we know? Okay, all right. Okay, good. So, like I said, we're going to bring people in and out. We had the Attorney General, Liz Morrell. She was up here. And what a great advocate for us here. She is just vivacious. Goes get it, man. She gets after it. And I like that. Because the FEMA, it's not really a cabinet position with FEMA, which John Kennedy said they shouldn't make it a cabinet position. But here's the deal. FEMA sort of making their own rules as they go. And their rules, you heard the Attorney General sort of say in a nutshell, she doesn't know, and this goes to intent. She doesn't know if they're trying to run us out of here. That's what I got from that interview. And doggone it, we put so much of our money and our taxes and levy systems and everything else. And it's just time for the federal government to understand that we have saved them a lot of money and that we're going to continue to take care of ourselves. It's one thing to take care of yourself, but when we're trying to complete the system or we need help with the forward maintenance of the system, help us out because we've just saved you a bunch of money. And remember, we figured in Ida, just in Terrebonne Parish alone, that we had saved the federal government close to $1 billion because we protected the homes from flooding. $1 billion. So let's make a deal with the feds. Let's say, all right, give us $500 million to complete our levees. Give us $750 million to complete our levees. Because we're going to save you for the next 2 or 3 storms like this, $2 or $3 billion. It's a good business deal all the way around. And that's sort of the way I see it. That's sort of the way Garrett Graves saw it, the congressman, our congressman, because he was really high volume yesterday in that meeting, from what I heard. Now, Tony Alford, who's been such a bulldog, pit bull. Gordy Dove's been such a pit bull on all this. And you got the Levy District. You got the Mitch Mormons, who's the project manager. You had former Reggie Dupre. You got Angela Hidalgo now. They're all trying to do the right things when it comes to these levees. And they're going to be coming on later to show you slides and explain how much water we held back here in Terrebonne Parish. And I guess it comes down to this. I've seen the levees so many times. I've driven the levees, I've flown the levees, I've covered the levees. Most people in Terrebonne Parish, and I'd be willing to bet the vast majority, don't even know what the levees are holding back. If you would take a helicopter ride, like I have many times in the past, and you go up from Houma, you used to seeing things as you drive around. You go down Tunnel Boulevard, you're going to run into the stores and the restaurants. You're going to see South Downs School. You're going to see Vanderbilt. You're going to see different things. You'll go to a baseball game at Vanderbilt and they're playing baseball and you go, yeah, man, we look high and dry. Well, get up in a helicopter and fly up and get up over and look at the water that surrounds our great parish. And I think most of you would be shocked. So that's what the levees was holding back. 11 feet of water in the most profound area, but 10 and 9 feet in other areas all the way around our levee system. Now imagine that not being here and the water's rolling in. So what Gordon Dove with the CPRA now and Jeff Landry, the governor of the state of Louisiana, have really pushed and advocated is something that Gordy's been obsessed with forever, and also David Carmadale of Grand Isle has been obsessed with forever. Rocks. They want to rock the whole state. And what does that do? It sort of knocks the surge down. It gets that surge out, especially the waves, because the surge doesn't take into account the wave on top of it. Remember Katrina? Great example. The surge was one thing. The waves rolling over the surge were another thing. So when we talk about surge, it's that water that's just pushing that's constant, but waves can roll over that. So what the rock system does is knocks the waves down and really helps with the surge, and that's in a nutshell. So we're going to take a break. We're going to line up some more activity. We're going to bring on Jason Bergeron, the parish president of Terrebonne Parish. Just got in office, but it's sort of like, I think Don Schwab had a hurricane right in his first year. And I'm trying to think if anybody else had one in their first year. Barry Bovelin had Andrew in his first year. We'll be right back.
This is Martin False live in Houma. We're in front of Hebert's Motel where water is up to the doorknobs at the motel. Telephone poles almost completely to the ground. This storm had some fury to it. The following morning, Hurricane Andrew had taken its toll on Terrebonne Parish.
But the stick doesn't lie.
No.
That, you know, they said it started moving north-northwest. That was a jog.
It's a very tense day for Terrebonne Parish. Levy after levy has been breached. You won't know until it equalizes how many of them have actually broken.
And I'm just looking at that stick shot again. That center circulation has moved back on the stick, and Lafourche and Grand Isle to me are ground zero at this point. It's moving right up the stick, and that stick goes directly over Grand Isle and Fouchon.
Terrebonne Home Care was founded by Ronnie and Tammy Eshday in 1993. That continues today with Braden Eshday.
What COVID and Hurricane Ida taught me is that this community doesn't need outside corporations dictating what we can and cannot do. It needs investment and reinvestment in our local communities by hiring local and staying local, and that is what Terrebonne Home Care is doing as the last remaining locally owned and operated agency.
Terrebonne Home Care, 30 years of quality care and 470 years of clinical excellence. Let our family care for your family.
All right, we're back. The parish president's going to be up in a little bit. You know what I learned about hurricanes and things of this nature? When they go to different spots, everybody meets at that spot. So right now there's probably a meeting going on in the green room. But people meet wherever they can gather. So if they're going on TV, they meet there. If they're going to the EOC, they meet there. So people meet wherever they land. That's just the way it is. And it's been like that forever. Okay. Let's talk about football a little bit. A lot of people are excited about football. The Saints kicked some booty last week, and LSU beat Nichols, but Nichols played tough in that first half. And if Nichols would have had more people, more depth at their positions, that'd have been an interesting game. So you got to give it to Nichols. They showed up. But some of the games have been moved, and I'm going to give you that right now. So if you're listening, here we go. Or if you want to see it, here we go. ERET at Vanderbilt, Saturday, 1 p.m. Saturday at 3 p.m., Central Lafourche High School at New Iberia. Saturday, 4 p.m., South Terrebonne High School at CCA. That's Nicholls State University. Saturday, 4 p.m., Jesuit at E.D. White. I want to see that game. That would be a fun game to watch. Everett at Vanderbilt, too. That's two normally pretty good football teams with local teams. You get to gauge what you got, really. Saturday, 5 p.m., South Lafourche High School at Pearl River. Sunday, 4 p.m., L.B. Landry at Thibodeau. L.B. Landry normally has some good athletes, so I guess we'll get to check that out. So, but what has, let's think about this. What has the Storm done for football teams too? Some of the Northern Parish teams, they've been practicing. They've been doing different things. Some of the other teams in our area can't practice when you don't go to school. I think that's the rule. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're missing some valuable time to get ready for their opponent. Now, I don't know how all that plays out. Maybe a coach can educate me on that. Because when we played back in the day, which is ages back, I don't think we had to go through a hurricane. So I don't think I've ever been in that situation as a player. Or I'm wondering what used to happen back in the days. And we've had so many storms, but I don't know how it affected them. And I never really thought outside the box. So maybe a coach can let me know what we have there. Let's also talk about giveaways at some of the supermarkets. I know Rouse's was giving away water. Look at the water that's been delivered at some of the Rouse's locations in the areas that the storm has hit. Now, we had Tim Acosta on the other day. Maybe we can get Donnie Rouse. Donna Rouse called in. He told me he never realized the strength of this storm. It was one of the worst he had seen. He called from Thibodeau, and certainly, commend anyone and everyone who goes out of their way to help people. And there you see them handing out water at Rouse's to families in need. And water is one of those things. We learned that during Ida. Well, really, we learned it before, but it really was pronounced in Hurricane Ida. And what happened during Ida is people couldn't take baths. The water was out. People were using their swimming pools to take baths. People were having to flush their toilets by Bayou water. And a bucket and a rope was a hot commodity during Ida. Throw the bucket in the water, pull it back in, go flush your toilet. But so, we learned. We learned from Ida, and we don't take things for granted. Gulf Coast Strong, free bottled water, limit 1 while supplies last. Rouse's Market and Home at 5561 Grand Caillou Road. Rouse's Market in La Rose, Highway 3235, and Rouse's Market in Golden Meadow. What's that, Jay? All right, that's 2 hours ago is what they're telling me. So don't know if they still have the water there, but we will certainly check it out for sure. All right, so just a lot of things. We tell you about the football games. We tell you about the fact that the utility companies are moving around. So when I'm giving you reports, and when the parish president comes on and gives you reports of utilities, and then we play the show, even as we're speaking live, those numbers are going to change because they're moving. They're moving constantly. So if you see something that looks like, okay, they've only completed 20% of the parish, well, it could be 30 by the time we finish. And then tomorrow it could be 40 or 50 or 60. And that's why they give themselves a little time. At the end, they set that date because strategically they know what they're going to do and how they approach it. And then all the linemen that come in, there's a plan of how to do it. They'll take sectors and they'll work that sector and get it straight. And talking to the sheriff yesterday, and I want to thank all law enforcement, all first responders, all firemen, fire personnel, and all parish workers and utility workers that have done a great job in just trying to keep this thing rolling. The parish officials have been A+, the police have been A+. There's been a lot of people working hard to secure and move fast. So patience is still the word, but know that things are happening, and that's a good thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we know now that the parish president is ready to go. He's walked in the studio, so we will have him up here. Don't go away.
Billy's Best Brands Plus has all of your bedding, appliance, and electronic needs. Whether you're in the need of a new washer or dryer, refrigerator or stove, at Billy's we have a wide selection of HD TVs and home theater systems, plus the best bedding around. Come in and see our great selection today, only at Billy's Best Brands Plus. And let us deliver to you. Billy's Best Brands Plus, located at 5805 West Main Street in Houma.
Terrebonne Parish School District is seeking individuals for the following maintenance positions: licensed plumber, electrician, carpenter, HVAC techs with chiller experience, HVAC techs with general experience. These positions have great work environment, excellent benefits, retirement, and insurance. Apply online at tpsd.org. Terrebonne Parish School District, a great place to work.
All right, welcome back. I told you we were going to have officials coming in and out, and thank them because they give us some of their time. They come in the studio and then they go right back out and they're doing their work, but they know it's important to let you know some of the things that are taking place. So joining us right now, the Terrebonne Parish President, Mr. Jason Bergeron. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I like your fire hat. That's pretty cool.
Fire hat?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A little competition. The guys giving me hats and wanting me to wear them, so I got to give them equal love, you know.
So look, I mean, some interesting meetings. That's before we talk about EOC yesterday, because if the FEMA lady didn't get the point yesterday, I don't know if she ever will. And Liz Morrell talked a lot about that too. But let's talk about utilities. I think right now, the number one thing I'm getting is, hey, when do you think this subdivision is going to be on? I said, well, I don't know. But I'm going to let you talk about that because I know your crew's doing a knockout job trying to get it done.
Yeah, and it's not just our crew. We brought contractors in. You know, we have all that stuff ready to go before the storm hits. And, you know, it's never going to take it's always going to take longer than you want it to. But, you know, we have to work our way from the middle of where the power plant is out. I know in one situation we turned on some utilities and had a tree limb on a lawn and it caught fire, right? So we got to make sure we don't burn houses down, that we don't put anybody's lives at risk that's working these lines. And, you know, we go through, we do an inspection just to make sure we can get in and work. You know, when you look at the process with FEMA, we have to take pictures and all that other stuff, and that's what was holding us up. We got to get clearance that says we're going to go fix it all, and then we come back and get that information and get the investigation tied up after, so that it doesn't hurt us when it comes to getting the funding. So we're able to get that done early. That probably cut the time in half, and that's why we're pushing to have everything restored. We got to say it. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, by Sunday.
Isn't that a pain in the ass? Excuse my French. That you got to document all that for FEMA. I know you got to document things, but like you said, if you don't document it, you're not going to get the money. But it takes a lot of time to document stuff.
It does, and that's, you know, again, it's take a picture of the pole, take a picture of the transformer, take a picture, you know, and then fill out a document and everything else. And so once we got clearance from the consultants we work with that said, let's get it fixed, we'll do the kind of come back around and get it done, we were able to proceed and get really make some big impacts. And, you know, it's any minute, like I said, you're going through, you're testing lines to substations and just kind of working out as we get, you know, it's good to this point, good to that point. Okay, now we can turn this area up. Sometimes we turn it up and as we find an issue, we got to turn it back down. So again, we're pushing hard. We're going to hopefully do everything we can to make sure power is restored as quickly as possible. I noticed just coming over here, there's a lot of traffic. Lights still aren't working. There's one lane roads because there are bucket trucks trying to get some of the stuff repaired. And so just be patient. I think I heard you say it earlier. Just be patient and know that be patient and be empathetic, because these people out there, every one of these people in the bucket trucks risking their life to get us back up and running.
That's what I said. Just toot your horn at them, holla, thank you. And they love it, and they need that pat in the back, you know. Let me ask you, Ernie Brown, who's working everything for you. You know, he's the guy with the electrical department. What do they do when all these other crews come in? Do they have like a meeting and they give them sectors to do? How's that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's all planning. It's all part of what these people all do for a living. You know, these guys that are here doing our work, they might be in another area. You know, it's part of that industry. Is that you just know you always drop everything in a moment's notice and go do work. So, yeah, everything's rolled out through grids and plans and streets. And, you know, as things happen, we're actually going to be rolling out a outage map. You know, it's something we had to create it manually. We're hoping to get it sooner rather than later. Because we're working on systems that automatically notify us. So right now we're going to do a manual outage map, and it'll be online. I'm hoping to have that by the end of the day. Bear with us; it might take a little bit longer because we're writing and development as we go. But now we'll give people information to go look. Maybe don't have to make a phone call, but you know, we definitely want people to continue to call if they have issues, report things. You know, we've had some reporting of, you know, low gas pressure and some other things. And we've even found in some of those situations, it's a case-by-case basis, and been able to resolve some of them. But, you know, there's a lot of things that we are working on and trying to make sure that people have electricity as soon as possible.
And I want to we'll sort of breach this right now. We'll come back after the break and talk more. There was a big meeting at the EOC, and I know Garrett sort of told me in his own words, and Tony told me in his own words, and a few others, that that meeting got pretty serious. I heard that all morning that Garrett, Jason, and Archie really did good at speaking their minds. The FEMA lady was there. She needed to hear a lot of things because I guess once they leave the friendly confines of Terrebonne Parish, they're controlled by the bureaucracy of Washington when they leave. So I think maybe it'd be good to talk about that and just what happened, because we're not getting rewarded for all the monies we put in. When Garrett Graves said in this news desk during Hurricane Ida, we calculated live that we probably saved them about $1 billion by building levees here. We just want a little bit back. It's a good investment for us. So let's do this, Jay. We'll take the break now, come back, just add a few seconds to the parish president in the next segment. We'll let him say in his own words what happened in that meeting. If you were a fly in the wall, what would you have seen? We'll be right back.
Located at 5004 Imperial Drive in Houma, April and Iris is a must-see for those looking for exquisite home decor and gifts. Owned by April Boudreau, along with her talented design team, there is no lack of detail to enhance your shopping experience. April and Iris has all your decor needs.
Come in today and let us help you complete your design vision. It's what we do.
April and Iris, Homa's newest home interior and gift store, where decor and inspiration meet and fulfill all your design needs.
Every day, thousands of people hit the road heading towards their dreams. But sometimes those dreams collide with a harsh reality. Auto accidents with 18-wheelers can change lives in an instant. That's why you need the experience and expertise of St. Martin and Bork. With over 50 years of experience, St. Martin and Bork have fought for justice for the victims of truck accidents.
If you've been in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, know your rights.
Call St. Martin and Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
All right, welcome back. We have the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Jason Bergeron here. And yesterday, you know, interviewed you at the EOC and interviewed Garrett Graves and interviewed Archie and interviewed the governor. It was funny. A lot of people said, I noticed you were asking them all the same questions. I said, I rarely do that, but I wanted to hear the magnitude of sort of what went on in that meeting. And I wanted to, normally after those type of meetings, somebody will give you your heart because they still pumped and they still know what went on. What was being discussed? I know some things are private, but what was being discussed in the meeting yesterday?
Well, I can tell you one of the things that I like to do, and I even had these kind of conversations with DOTD when I took office, is, you know, instead of kind of getting in them and chewing them out, that's what everybody does. It's what can we do to work together? What can we do to for us to help in this lift, you know? And we've been trying to get a meeting with FEMA related to the risk rating 2.0 and the work we've been doing with the Clomer and the Lomers to just sit across the table with somebody and say, you know, I'm about to spend $500,000, $1 million. It could be 18 months, like what kind of time frame? If I take all this effort, what is that return on investment? And so We've been working to set those meetings up. We had a conference call the week before. And so to really sit across somebody, get to know them, look in the eyes, and, we know, if it's administration at the nation level, there's going to be limited in what they could do, but just to be able to get our point across. And, one of the things I would love for people to hear that conversation, and you just don't want to do that to them, because sometimes you need to have what I call real talk, right? It's that let's talk about what really can get done, or what we can do differently, or what we can do better, what they can do better. And, it was a conversation about, we have about $1 billion invested. We probably saved $2.5 billion between Ida and this storm. And I think it's important to have that conversation. But the point that I also wanted to make was, what kind of price can you put on our culture? What kind of price can you put on our quality of life? And so to me, when I look at those things, it's priceless. And that's the message I wanted them to hear was, even saying, yes, we probably saved you $1.5 billion, but it's more than that to us. It's more than that. It's about the community as a whole and what we do and what I love about our region that you can't find anywhere else, and you can't pick that up and drop it off anywhere else either. So, it is about the fact that, now we got a new bucket, because you got the FEMA bucket, now we're going to have the Francine bucket, and some of the stuff that, we were working on with FEMA, and we talked about, like, our temporary roof for the power plant got ripped off. A temporary roof for the Civic Center got ripped off. So, what can that transition over, or what can we do, again, to get that money faster? And so those are the things that we're trying to make sure is that, the conversation I had was, all this is great, but I'm worried about our residents being able to buy groceries this weekend, because we got notifications of people that didn't evacuate because they couldn't afford it. So somebody might have spent money on gas for a generator or on a generator that can't buy food for their family this week. And that's the results we need. We need that immediate impact that says, we're struggling so much as a community because of how much insurance costs, and you got to make a decision on whether or not, if I evacuate, can I feed my family this week? And
that's
really trying to send
that's a great point, because a lot of people, if you're well-to-do, and I'm not picking on people that make money, it's just a way of life. But if you have the means and you just go ahead and you do it, there's still a lot of people, and it's probably the majority of our parents, to be honest, that live paycheck to paycheck. So you're right. If they have evacuated and they've spent a little money, and they're still trying to pay their insurance costs, I bet the anxiety level in some of these houses are super high right now.
Yeah, and you're sitting in no power. It's like the food you had in your fridge is bad now. Like, you look at the fact that you might have got some supplies before, or maybe you made a grocery bill on Thursday, or like on Tuesday, just a normal grocery bill on Monday, and then you just lost $100 worth of groceries or $300 worth of groceries. And that's what I told them. Come bring us gift cards, come bring whatever we could do to really get people to not have to struggle even a day is what's important. And that's why, we are pushing as hard as we can to get power.
That would be a great thing, a FEMA gift card. Huh?
Yeah, just something that says,
or go to the local merchants and say, okay, we're going to give you, say, Rouse's or Canada's or whoever, we're going to give you 100,000 in FEMA vouchers. You give them out.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like that's what I hope they heard out of that meeting is, and you look at pods, for example. We're rolling those out. Those went out today.
Five, huh?
Five went out at noon. We are trying to get some other supplies, but when you look at the fact that originally they told us they're going to distribute 10 statewide, well, we got 5. We were worried we were only going to get 3, so we had to do Northwest, Northeast, Southeast, Southwest instead of at Civic Center, right? So we were able to do that, and then we're trying to get supplies into other areas that. It's a little bit harder for those people to travel, a little more low to moderate income. And we're doing that in coordination with understanding when power is going to come back. And, we're going to keep these supplies running as long and as much as we can. But, again, I just want to make sure that try to be patient with our people. We have people that are answering the phones that maybe do accounting work or do some other kind of work inside the parish and volunteer to answer the phone, and they might not say the right thing. They might not give the right answer, but it's going into a system and every issue is going to be addressed. And so I just ask that you be patient with us and understand that there's somebody
too. They get tired too.
They're all tired. They've all been working a long time. And people volunteer to answer phones to help us out. And so just bear with us. And I said this going into it. We're gonna make some mistakes. We gotta do it and move on. I'd rather make the wrong decision 4 times than not make a decision at all. So things change. We know something 1 minute and 5 minutes later it's completely different, and we're definitely doing everything we can. I hope everybody's seeing that we're trying to be more visible.
Well, I got to say this, I've sat for many storms, and I've watched many people go in action. Some did very well and some didn't do so good. I don't call names out on that. Y'all done a pretty doggone good job at this point. Y'all moving, y'all getting information out, you're talking to the public. You're right. Or y'all gonna make some mistakes. If you don't, I wouldn't think you were human. You're gonna make mistakes, but overall, I think y'all moved the ball, and I think y'all doing a good job on moving it.
And we'll go find some stuff after this is done. Well, we could probably done that better. We could have done that different. You know, we'll have some wrap up meetings as we go through this, but you know, it is definitely something that, you know, we're having conversations, and the outage map, I was like, what are the options of what can we do to just do an outage map and manually? And they're like, that's a good idea. Let's get that done. And so that's the kind of things where we're coming together. And look, some of our people are dealing with the same issues. I don't have power in my house still, right? So I understand how frustrating that is. And so we just want to make sure we do everything we can.
Let's do this. Come back for one more segment if you don't mind. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities, including driven piles, drill deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
A new company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service planning, engineering, procurement, and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new company with a lot of history.
At Terrebonne General Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center, our strength is providing the highest quality cancer care in the region. Our team of expert physicians utilizes leading-edge technology to provide each patient a personalized treatment plan. We stand at the forefront of innovation, offering access to life-saving clinical trials, advanced genetic testing and counseling services, and supportive resources. With our new state-of-the-art expansion, we'll provide an even higher level of nationally accredited comprehensive cancer care where it matters most, close to home.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
All right, we are back with the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Jason Bergeron. By the way, I'm trying to remember all the parish presidents who had a pretty good storm in their first year. Barry Bonvillain had Andrew. I think Don Schwab had Katrina and Rita. 2 in 1 year.
I'm good. We're good for a while. Person, let's go.
Yeah, you're one of those first year parish presidents. But the water that was spared in this parish, and I think you said it well at the EOC yesterday, if we don't have these walls, and I sort of told people who go about every day and they're passing on Tunnel Boulevard, they're driving on the highways and they're not seeing the water behind Terrebonne Parish, I guarantee you 60, 70, 75% of the people have no clue the amount of water that was held back. The Bayou people now. You've seen it firsthand, a tremendous 11-foot surge in Terrebonne Parish. That had to be an awesome sight.
Awesome is definitely interpretive, right?
I don't say awesome in the good term. I mean, awesome right. Just,
it's like when we were in EOC and we're looking at the data and we're seeing 10.2, 10.3. in that area and thinking that, okay, that's good. And then we find out, that was the limit of the gauge. And so we definitely had 11 foot, we went down, it was Humboldt Canal and Montague on Bayou Terrebonne. That's Montague and Bayou Terrebonne, that picture right there. Left side's outside. You can see the debris on top, and then there's a little bit of debris on the right-hand side. And that just shows you right there. That's what separates us from a community full of water. That, just that width, that height, there's some debris you can see on the left-hand side and some of that piping and all. And so, when we look at the fact that kept saying 5 to 10 and we did a mandatory evacuation, that's why we did a mandatory evacuation, because in Humboldt, where Humboldt is, I think that one side's 13, the other side's 12, and there was some water coming around on the 13 side because that's kind of at a point. But when you look at the fact that it went over a little bit and it, a little bit spilled over the side, but it held. And that's the most important part, that when we talk about the system that's been built and all the work that's been done over the last 20 years, thankful for that, because we got hit with a worst case scenario. Thankful, if it's 50 miles west, you're looking at more water in Dularge. And so we got a lot of work left to do. We got to continue to raise, because Dularge, I think, is some areas 8 to 10, and moving around to where our new goal is 13. Right? It's really trying to make sure that if we got Ida in that same position right there, Ida hit at 18 foot on the levees in Lafourche. So just to show you from a comparison, it's saying that this was at 10 and a half, 11. Just think if we'd got 18.
I'm looking for that sheet, and I apologize. I'm looking for this sheet right here. I kept saying during our live broadcast that this storm is strengthening as it sits over Terrebonne Parish. And I really believe that it's called a brown ocean effect. And what these scientists have concluded, Ida was one of them, because when Ida got over Terrebonne Parish, it exploded. That's when I thought it became a 5. But as Francine came over Terrebonne Parish and my crews were filming and they moved, it exploded. When I walked outside, the winds were ferocious. They call it a brown ocean effect because of the amount of rain we had prior. It was like over the ocean, they call it. The hurricane's there, and it's not sucking dry. It's not in the dry ground. It's sucking all the rainwater out, and it's intensifying. I guarantee you they're going to change this storm, maybe a level. I don't know if they'll go that far, but this storm got stronger as it hit Terrebonne Parish.
We got 97 mile an hour winds at the EOC, a gust, not sustained. I know we had some strong, probably some hurricane sustained in more of northwest area, Gibson and all. So it did seem like the eye was getting bigger, or definitely getting stronger as it hung around over us when the eye walls on us. So we'd called the National Weather Service during, because the radar was showing it didn't look like anything was going on. And we even had some conversations that the storm was actually blocking the radar. And so we had to get some radars from other areas, and it just, it seemed like it's an hour longer than it should have been there.
That was the phenomenon that I kept talking about. I couldn't see. I also think there was 2 eastern eye walls, because when we put the measuring on it for the winds, the inner one was 98. The outer one was 96. When we measured inside, it was 0. And I'm going, what is this phenomenon? I think because it was strengthening, it was trying to replace the old eye wall. And it's a phenomenon I never saw. So we learn from weather every day. Just like you learn every day and I learn every day. Weather teaches us something new every day, doesn't it?
Yeah, you get 15 storms, all hit the same path, and all have different results. And, that's why we try to, give some caution early on. And, the mandatory evacuation is really a conversation about, if something happens to you, we can't get to you. And so we just want to make sure that lives are saved, and that, we're going to take care of property and make sure we don't have looters. We're going to make sure people can get back to it. But during that storm, again, we told everybody to prepare for that category above, and we got the category above. And, we just want to make sure that we try not to put any residents in harm.
Just like we kept saying, they said 5 to 10 foot surge. I kept saying, prepare for 10.
Yeah.
Because when we got to 10, look, keep up the good work. Your crew's doing a great job, and your utilities and everybody else, your department's doing a great job. And keep bringing us the information as you get it. And we urge patience with the community, and see the trucks once again, thank them, wave to them, give them a sandwich, give them a Coke, do whatever you got to do, and Thank you for taking some time to come and talk with us.
I've been telling everybody, stay safe, stay patient, and God bless.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
Work together.
All right, the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, and we appreciate him coming by. We will take a break, and we'll be back.
By a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
Leg pain, swelling, or ulcers can be signs of vascular disease in the legs. This lack of blood flow can lead to amputation if not treated. Varicose or spider veins may also be signs of venous disease and are more than just a cosmetic problem. Trust the most advanced team of leg pain specialists at Cardiovascular Institute of the South to reopen blockages in the legs and offer minimally invasive in-clinic vein treatments. If you experience leg pain, swelling, or have visible veins, schedule an appointment with us today at cardio.com.
Since 1911, the Pierre Parts Store has been your one-stop shop. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, the Pierre Parts Store has served the community by providing groceries, hardware, home products, and much more, including a full-service lumber yard. Now, we've added the Thibodeau store to the family with the same values and service we've delivered for over 100 years. The Pierre Parts Store and the Thibodeau store, our family serving your family.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your local GMC dealer.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Delta Coast Consultants is a full-service professional engineering and surveying firm, providing planning, design, and management on a variety of projects. We specialize in flood protection, coastal restoration, marine construction, and municipal infrastructure. We also provide design and surveying services for residential and commercial developments. We are proud of our role in Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection Project, providing program management services to the Terrebonne Levy and Conservation District. Visit our website at deltacoastllc.com or call us at 985-655-3100.
All right, welcome back. And like I said, when we're in the hurricane mode, everything's casual and everybody's casual, and we bring people up constantly on the desk to talk about things that are important. And right now, I know you're going through the storm, but I always tell people sort of gauge where you were after Ida, gauge where you were after Katrina, gauge where you were after Rita, and then use that as a template. So if your power was going on 3 or 4 or 10 days later, amen. Because we remember times when it took a while to get back on. So use that as a template. But I find that the younger generations have to learn because they have to go through it. So when I used to hear my mom and dad talking about Hurricane Betsy and all these things, and I was 5 years old, I'm going, I don't remember all that. But they remember it, though. Everything was Betsy until something replaced it. So, okay. We have, as Paula Rome is right next to me. You've seen Paula many times before and heard her wonderful voice before, customer service manager for the Bayou region with energy. She's going to be covering the Lafourche restoration, right? Okay, and then right next to her is Miss Amanda Edge, who's the customer service manager for energy in Monroe, who's going to be covering the Terrebonne restoration. And welcome to Houma.
Thank you.
All right, good to see y'all. All right, so Paula, outages, it's just, they come with the territory for storms. And I know that we learned one thing in Ida, electricity and water. Water. Just tell us your thoughts right now.
So, Martin, as you know, we bring in additional resources when a storm passes, including our wonderful, great employees. Miss Amanda runs, and I'm gonna correct you, West Monroe.
West?
You know that's a big difference.
Oh, did I insult you?
It's okay. I cover both, West Monroe and Monroe. You're good.
West Monroe.
All right, we got that. All right.
So anyway, we got Amanda here that's concentrating just on Terrebonne Parish, and myself that's concentrating just on Lafourche Parish right now.
Okay.
Since the Bayou region was so heavily, heavily hurt by the storm.
Right. So you've had to, split it up and pull the resources in. And Amanda, what I told people is as we would look at the trucks and we were filming trucks, and I've been doing it. I don't care how much it slows my day down. When you see these trucks, not while they're working on the wires, but if you see them huddled up meeting, trying to figure, just stop, toot your horn, give them a thumbs up. You don't have to stop and have conversations, but also sort of let them know if there's a bunch of debris hiding a line somewhere, because a lot of these people coming in might not be familiar with the area. So they're trying to acclimate themselves. So let's cover Terrebonne first. What's some of your job duties and what are you trying to accomplish?
Great, thanks. I appreciate it. So right now we are probably hope to be by tonight around 35% restored for the Terrebonne Parish customers that are located there. We have one substation that we're really focused on, still trying to get online. And once that's online, we will be able, to bring a significant amount of customers back up. So that's one thing that's kind of slowed us down in that restoration process. So we did get the water treatment plant back on earlier today. So that was a huge success for us as well. So we will have water because I actually did come down and work during in the Lafourche area during Ida. And when I first got here, we did not have water. So but definitely. So today we're really focused on getting our backbones and our critical customers back on in service. So we have completed our assessment of all of our backbones in Terrebonne Parish, and so now they're trying to get those back up. Tomorrow we'll have a big focus on neighborhoods and more of those specific regional areas that within the parish that we can kind of start doing updates at that point forward. But we do anticipate probably 55% of customers in Terrebonne being back on tomorrow, 75% Sunday, and then all that we can access and that are ready for power by Monday.
And I'm going to get to Paul in a second, but while we're on Terrebonne, do y'all sort of work the municipalities work? Like, does Energy work with the city of Houma? Because there's some share, because aren't we taking the main feed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been located at the EOC for the last couple of days, back and forth to the Terrebonne network, but we're all at a table together, working very closely together.
So all the utility departments are working. So if something happens, you're right across the table and you could go.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Ernie, you can say, Ernie, this is what's happening.
That's it.
Which, by the way, Ernie said, let me just say, he texted me saying, Plant Road and Sherwood substations have been energized on the east side in Houma. So every time something's energized, isn't that a good thing?
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
We watched the map in Lafourche Parish last night as we turned lights on, and it's just as exciting for us to see that map turn green as it is for the customer.
Yeah. So, but once you get for lack of a better word, the roots of
the backbone.
Backbone, even better word. Then it starts moving quicker.
Yes. I like to think of it kind of as your interstate system. So your actual interstate is your backbones, and then those laterals that serve your neighborhoods and things are like your off ramps. And then your side streets within your cities is kind of like, your side streets in your city that serve those.
All right. So we're going to take a break now. We're going to come back with Paula. We're going to let her talk about Lafourche. But Amanda, did they feed you any gumbo while you were here yet?
I haven't had gumbo, but I had this chicken with stuffing and andouille sausage and everything yesterday, and it was fantastic.
Well, good. Folks, take care of people that take care of your utilities and your electricity. Keep them happy. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Paula Rome. You know, she's famous in these parts. We love her over here. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back. Don't go away.
Do you or a loved one need help dealing with opioid use? There is help nearby. Go to opioidhelpla.org. There you will find medication and outpatient therapy nearby. Telehealth may be available. Uninsured or on Medicaid, there's help. You can be prescribed medication like Suboxone in an office-based opioid treatment site. You keep your job. You work toward a healthy lifestyle, and we help you recover. Opioidhelpla.org. Help is closer than you think.
Gators Power Systems is the area's leading Kohler standby generator solution, specializing in maintenance, repair, and installation on all major brands, from gas to diesel and 2kW to 2000. Home or commercial, our team has you covered. Our factory-certified technicians and installers are highly trained to provide response and repair when you need it the most. We service what we sell, period. Trust the Gen Gators, where we sink our teeth in the service.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your local GMC dealer.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Barker Honda's Kickoff to Savings starts now. We're tackling high interest rates with super low options from only 1.9% APR on brand new Honda Accords. It's that time of year to save on all of the new Hondas in stock, and we have our lowest payments and lowest financing available for you. And remember, it's better at BarkerHonda.com.
All right, we're back. We're talking about your power, and I know that's important to you because with the power comes the power. You got the power. Here we go. So we're going to go to Ms. Paula Rome, the customer service manager for Energy, the Bayou region, but she's going to be covering Lafourche Restoration. We just heard from Amanda Edge, and she's customer service manager for Energy in West Monroe. All right, Paula. Let's talk about Lafourche, our friends in Lafourche, because they got wiped pretty good on that eastern eye wall.
They did. But what's interesting about this storm for Lafourche, Martin, is that the Thibodeau area and the northern part of parish was messed up more than the southern part of parish. Actually, the night of the storm, most of Grand Isle and Port Fourchon still had power. Which is very odd.
It just has a crow fly.
It's just the way it came around.
Yeah, that 20 miles or 15 miles can make the biggest difference.
Absolutely.
In the world. We learned that from Ida, how one half of Grand Isle was devastated. And well, just to pick a word beyond devastated, because the other half was devastated. So I don't even know what words hired and devastated, demolished.
Right,
Maybe
demolished.
So,
Well, in Lafourche Parish, so, yesterday was our day one of restoration. So I'm excited to say that within 36 to 48 hours since the storm has passed, we have 51% of Lafourche Parish back up with power.
and that's got to be, I know y'all have meetings galore on trying to get this stuff done, but when it actually happens, it's like boots on the ground. You got to get out. And I know people get tired of hearing we have to assess, but you can't move until you assess because it's dangerous. If you just went in a subdivision and said, okay, looks good to me, pile on, somebody's going to die. So the
Someone's gonna catch on fire.
assessment takes a good bit of time, doesn't it?
That's correct. So we, yesterday was a lot of assessment. We're finished our damage assessment in Lafourche. We got, I don't know, the people in Thibodaux got their power back on around 1:30, 2 o'clock last night. We are expecting today to get some more of our critical customers online, like Lady to Sea Hospital, Nicholls State University, the Lafourche Water Plant in Lockport will be back on today. Galliano Airport. Those are the things that are going to come back on today. And then, then after that, tomorrow we're going to start working on, those more neighborhoods, like Amanda said.
Right. And of course, I guess they call them, like we've always said, we're on the hospital grid at HTV.
Right.
So we know that we're going to get on pretty good because everybody's riding the coattails of the hospital. Although we are treated, because we're media, as getting information out too.
Right.
But you got a lot of those areas in Lafourche.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So,
And Lafourche is it's such a long parish that,
isn't it
we do
100
have a lot of
miles
that.
long?
Yeah, 100 miles long.
So you really gotta sort of prioritize, but you prioritize in a lot of different areas.
That's correct. So, there's a lot of ways. Everybody's asking, how can I find my power's coming back on? There's a lot of ways to get in touch with that. The view outage map that y'all have been sharing is one of the best ways to do that. We also have a storm center on our website you can look at. We have the mobile app and, of course, social media. Amanda and I are working very closely with our parish presidents, Archie and Jason, and we are, giving them the talking points that they need. So the parishes are putting messages out too.
Yeah, and we always broadcast it on social media and apps and everything. We had people in Seattle and Texas, and I'm going, it's the broadest reach we've ever had for a storm.
That is great.
It's almost like reality TV for those that's never been through a hurricane.
Right.
They sort of look at us and we're going, wish we could shut off areas so they don't, But let me add, y'all had a couple of things in closing. We got about 2.5 minutes left. What would y'all like to add? Amanda, you want to start?
Yeah, I just, we have approximately 200 resources that were brought in from other parts of the company or other parts of the country even, but we have about 200 additional resources that are in Terrebonne Parish working. We have about 100 to 150 en route on their way to the parish to continue the restoration process. And so many times we have people ask us, hey, what can we do to help? What can we do to help? I would say that probably the biggest hindrance for our guys in the field is going to be traffic. So if you don't have to be out on the roads, stay home, give them a little time, to get these lines back up and going before you hit the roads. And
Yeah, and because the lights are blinking too, so everybody's got to stop. It's not continuous and it backs up the traffic. So at least wait till the lights get working properly to get back on. And is it the most important thing you could tell people is just stay home. We'll try to show them as much as we can on TV. Be patient.
Yes, that would be great. And, we talked about collaboration and bringing folks in. We also, not only do we work with the utilities, but we also work very closely with all the entities in the parish. I've had conversations today just with both school boards to say what's going on, what should we be thinking our schools are going to be on, that kind of stuff. So we work very closely with all the entities in the parish to make sure that they have the proper information to make their decisions as well.
Well, y'all brought up patient because you got to be patient to do what y'all do, right? It's like, do you ever sit back and go,
No, we don't have to do that.
We don't have time for that, Martin. We don't have time for that.
You
Right now.
just got it all together, don't y'all, huh? Oh, well, take some melatonin, go to sleep, wake up the next day, y'all rested. I want to thank y'all for coming on and thank y'all for the work that y'all are doing. And please pass on to the linemen and the workers and everybody out here. Thank you for being here, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
And all of Lafourche and Terrebonne will be up by Monday.
Yes.
All right, very
That's
good.
the best message we got.
Thank you. All right, there we have it. There's your news. We're going to come back. We're going to go to Morgan City, talk with the captain of the police department there. After that, we're going to have levy district members on the set. We're going to show you the levees in Terrebonne Parish and why they held back 11 feet of water in this parish. It was unbelievable. That's a record, to be honest with you. We'll be right back.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
This is the moment to make this summer the summer in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander or Outlander plug-in hybrid at Barker Mitsubishi. With its premium interior, 2 years limited maintenance included, super all-wheel control, and an industry-leading warranty. Drive home with 0% APR for 48 months, plus 0 down payment. The moment is now at Barker Mitsubishi.
Terrebonne Parish School District is seeking individuals for the following maintenance positions: licensed plumber, electrician, carpenter, HVAC techs with chiller experience, HVAC techs with general experience. These positions have great work environment, excellent benefits, retirement, and insurance. Apply online at tpsd.org. Terrebonne Parish School District, a great place to work.
Sea-Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea-Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drill deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea-Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
All right, let's go to Morgan City. We have Captain John Schaff, who's been with us. You've been so good at giving us information in Morgan City. And good to see you again, and maybe an assessment of how Morgan City did.
Well, definitely, Martin. The storm had much more punch than what was expected. Morgan City, believe experienced over 100-mile-an-hour winds according to the wind gauge in the mayor's backyard. It broke at 117 miles per hour. We received a lot more rain than what we were anticipating. Rain gauges at one of the places showed 20 inches. So a lot more rain in a short period of time, which of course caused flash flooding across the city. There was one point where Lakeside was in trouble, and thanks to efforts by the mayor and Center Island, they were able to get pumps back there to start pumping out the water, and it probably saved a lot of houses in Lakeside. But there was some houses that did get water in there in Lakeside.
Yeah, Jason, bring up the category wind speeds, because what the captain is telling me here is sort of what I was talking about with that brown ocean effect, where with all the saturated water, these storms can actually intensify when they come on shore. So if this thing came on as a 2, and the captain is telling us that the chief's wind gauge broke at 117, I'm not so sure they might not rule out a 3 at some point on this storm. We'll wait and see, of course. But did you feel like the storms were intensifying as they went over Morgan City?
Well, I could tell you this, we actually caught 2 waves of it. In the beginning, when the wind started to pick up, they were pretty heavy. I believe I was with CNN at the time, and they said they were clocking them at 50 miles an hour sustained. But there was a second point in time around 8 o'clock that night that we were going to hook up the pumps in Lakeside, and we were out and getting blown all over the place off of that Lake Pallure, where waves were rolling over the gate, and we were standing in waist full of water. it was definitely some high winds, and I believe it was much higher than what they said it was going to be.
Well, when you look at the damage, Captain, around Morgan City, and like you said, you were assessing it. I mean, I'm trying to think of, well, Andrew went right over Morgan City, and I don't know if Andrew ended up as a 4 or a 5. I know they tried to reclassify, but how does this compare to maybe like an Andrew?
Definitely not the devastation of what this area has seen during Andrew, but I believe this is more rain than what Andrew had. Andrew was probably more wind. If you pan back to the right a little bit in the street, you would see mud in there. That on the street, that's actually mud from the lake. And there's a couple places in the lakeside that we've seen that after the water was pumped out and receded. So you definitely getting a lot of water that was being blown into the subdivision, which is pretty much surrounded by levees, and you got the Shane that's going to create the locks at the Shane or the gate that stops that backwater from coming in. But even then, from the people I've talked to that been at this police department since before my time here, said that is the highest that they've ever seen water come in Lakeside. Usually they don't flood like that, but that's probably the highest they've seen.
Bayou Shane, I think at one point, we were having Gardy Dove with the CPRA on at the time, and he told me 41 inches at one point. Bayou Shane the Shane floodgate was holding back. Any final toll on that? What it held back?
That would probably be a Mac Wade question.
Yeah.
Or Mike Bricata. They could probably give you those, but I haven't heard anything like that or reports like that. But it probably helped.
Yeah. And, as you go through these storms, how are the people in Morgan City dealing with it? Is it business as usual today, or are they just sort of kicking back and waiting for things to get fixed?
Well, right now we do have some power in on the city. We're in recovery mode right now. They have a distribution center opened up at the Morgan City Auditorium that's being manned by the National Guard and coordinated by them. And they're also coordinating with us for traffic. We have a lot of people out there that are in need and long lines of vehicles, and trying to get them through to get them the supplies that we've gotten from the Homeland, from GOSEP. They've done a good job getting us our supplies, and it's being distributed now. So that's pretty much what the day's like. We don't have much power in the city right now. Still got a lot of generators running. And we're hoping, the mayor reported this morning whenever he spoke with the governor when he came in, and is hoping to be close to 40% power today. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping for that to at least happen, and maybe tomorrow or the next couple of days. The governor anticipated at least by the latest by Monday. So we're hopeful that it's going to be sooner than that. But that's pretty much what's going on. There's not many places open because they don't have electricity. Mm-hmm. So people around their houses cleaning up all the brushes all the way to the streets now, and waiting to be picked up. And one community came together, and they taking care of their own. They're not waiting for people to come in and do it for them, but they taking care of their own.
How y'all holding up?
Long few days. We worked 24 hours straight when we were locked down here. Probably worked 48 hours and with 2 hours of sleep. So we were definitely out on the streets until it was unsafe for us to be so. So after we brought it in, we let this storm come through, which took a few hours to get through Morgan City before the winds kind of kicked back a little bit where we could get officers on the street. By that time, it was dark, and we weren't really sure exactly what the extent of damage was. So we're waiting for that next morning to come so we could go ahead and assess everything. We finally got our feedback from CLECO, which generated the city's power back, our abilities to get power, so they could start their diagnostics on the utilities. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. We got plenty of linemen in town. Our electrical crew and city crews are working hard. Our fire department's working hard. Our police department's out there. We're still on double shifts. We anticipate to be on double shifts the next couple of days until we can get everything power back up and everything back to normal. And then come Monday, hopefully we'll be back to normal.
All right, Cam, good talking to you again. Stay in touch, and we will be in touch. And thank y'all for what you do. We'll take a break right here on Bayou Time. We'll be back with a lot more.
Selecting Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
It's truck season at A.J. Dillman Chevrolet. Save thousands on all remaining 24 models and get financing as low as 5.9 for 84 months. Looking for a commercial truck? Come see us. We're your local business elite dealer with a huge selection of work-ready trucks in stock. No credit, bad credit, upside down. We say yes when others say no. A.J. Dillman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey, a girl's got a fish. We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you boiling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
And as you can see behind me, the fury now is starting to happen. The wind's now probably a steady 30 miles per hour, and you'll get gusts from 40 to 45 miles per hour. Of course, that's probably the outer winds of the storm. And if this is the outer winds of the storm, believe me, I don't want to experience the fury of 140 mile per hour wind.
Don't go to sleep on this tonight and think you're going to wake up and it may be a 1 or it may be gone. Think of it as a 3 or a 4.
Now let's track this hurricane because all indications are it's coming right for Terrebonne and Lafourche.
For 4 decades, Cardiovascular Institute of the South and Terrebonne General Health System have partnered to deliver a legacy of cardiovascular innovation. We lead the state in advanced programs and complex procedures that you won't find anywhere else. Our specialized treatments for peripheral vascular disease, artery and vein disease, heart valve and structure conditions, arrhythmias, and more attract patients from around the world. Together, we deliver the cardiovascular care that you deserve. Visit tgncis.com to learn more.
All right, we are back. I held over the captain because he told me a story at the break, and I want to get him back on. But while I'm doing that, let me just tell you that I'm hearing that Lafourche Parish Schools and Terrebonne Parish Schools will be closed on Monday. But also, I just got an official from Bubba Orgeron from Terrebonne Parish, and I know that, let me just read it. Hello, everyone. Due to the continued power outages and the time needed to assess HVAC systems and prepare buildings, schools will be closed on Monday, September 16th. Thank you for your continued patience and cooperation. That from Bubba Orgeron, the superintendent of Terrebonne. That'll hold true in Lafourche. Let me ask the captain, you said that St. Mary parishes will be open on Monday?
That's the report we got, that St. Mary Parish Schools, Jimmy Broussard told us a little while ago that they're going to be open come Monday.
Okay, very good. I want to come back to you because you were telling me a story on the break, which is sort of exemplary of how people act and a little bravery. Please tell that story for the audience. They'd love to hear that.
Yeah, there was a point in time whenever they were noticing waters were really rising in Lakeside to points they'd never seen before. And the mayor noticed that we had failed in one of our pumps on Walnut Drive. And they figured out that they needed to get some pumps out there so that they were going to pump the water out so that they could save all the houses in Lakeside. And so the mayor went to his yard and got 2 of his own pumps from his company and trailered them into Morgan City. And I received a call from Senator Robert Allen, who said, hey, we need some help hooking up pumps. And this is probably during the heat of the storm. So we get 5 of us from the police department. to go out there with Senator Island and Lee Dragna, his son, some people that seen the trailer coming in on Walnut Drive, jumped on the trailer to ride it to the back of Lakeside so they could help. And we get out there, we're in water that is up to our waist with 100-mile-an-hour winds, getting blown all over the place, dragging these 6 to 8 inch hoses to hook up to these pumps and get them running and pumping the water back into the Lake Palourde. And that's ultimately what saved Lakeside from flooding totally. So I just want to say that, you know, we got some good leaders in this area, from our Senate, from our mayor, who you don't see that all the time, that get out there and willing to take that risk for the people. And I want to commend all these police officers that went out there. I want to commend a local guy who was a mechanic who got one of the pumps running to get the first one back running. And, you know, it's just good stories like that people that are willing to take that risk to save their own community.
Yeah, and coming from somebody who we consider brave, our police forces that are always out in these elements, when you see that, doesn't that sort of tell you a little bit about somebody's core? When you see somebody jump to action in times like this, you go, all right, they got they got that little moxie with them.
Yeah, there was no questions asked whenever they called for help. So everybody jumped into action without asking any questions. You got to do what you got to do. This is the thing we signed up for. And that's how we keep everything together, to keep the community safe.
Just tell everybody, what is it like to be in those types of winds? We've all been in those winds before, but that's our job. That's y'all's job. But a lot of people don't go out in those actual elements. What's that like? Describe that.
Well, I had the opportunity to meet Jim Cantori this week. And when I met him, I said, nice to meet you, sir. And I hope I never see you again. So I kind of understand how he feels when he's on the Weather Channel and standing in those strong winds. And it's hard to stay on your feet. And whenever you standing in water that's all the way up to your waist, and you're getting blown all over the place, and you're getting pounded with wind with rain that feels like sand hitting your face, and it's a tough situation to be in. But you know, you got to do what you got to do for the community.
I've always told people it almost feels like a barrage of BBs are hitting you on the body, or pellets, or like you said, sand. You're getting sand blasted, and that's why you always see people sort of covering their face when they're getting pounded like that, because that's a sensation that not a whole lot of people want to experience or get to experience.
No doubt. And you could imagine how hard that wind blows when it's coming off the lake. It was coming off that lake much harder than it was within the city without no protection. It was blowing harder than I've ever been in.
What's the I guess the sea level, what's that lakeside? What's it at as far as is below sea level? How much is it? Or do you know right offhand?
I don't know. The lakeside is actually not considered a flood zone. It's some of the highest parts of the city, surrounded by levees. So you know, we're pretty high back there, and people I've talked to that have lived back there for years said they've never seen the water get that high before.
I'll be. Were a lot of homes flooded, or was it just the streets?
They did have some homes that did take on water. Fortunately, a lot didn't, but that's the reason why, because they were able to get 2 more pumps back there pumping that water into the lake. So that canal and half of Lakeside that drains into that canal, we were able to get the water out.
Well, thank you, Line Captain. Thank you for sharing that story with us. Those are the little things that people don't get to hear a lot, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that for us.
No doubt.
All right, there you have it. The captain of Morgan City, John Schaff, and he's been on with us quite a bit and giving us information, and we appreciate that. So we will take a break, and in short order, we're going to have the Levy District up here to talk about various things. So we will be right back.
Terrebonne Parish School District is now hiring bus drivers. A valid CDL is required. If you don't have a CDL, we will train you. You must be able to pass a medical health exam and a drug test. Salary range is $19,253 to $29,859. Benefits include free health insurance and retirement. Contact the TPSB Transportation Office at 985-876 7400.
Welcome to the Cypress Stop, your new Phillips 66 on the corner of 311 and Savan Road. We have all your breakfast, lunch, and dinner needs with smoked ribs, smoked chicken, boudin, homemade pulled pork, and daily plate lunches. We have a very large selection of white wines, red wines, liquors, beer, tobacco, and premium cigars. Going fishing? We have your bait and tackle and the ice to keep your catch cool. Cypress Stop, home of the happy customer.
You gotta try this. And some of those. Ooh, and definitely that. You won't be disappointed, but just know you can only get it here. Up and down Louisiana's Cajun Bayou in Lafourche Parish. Y'all come visit. We're just 35 miles south of New Orleans. Hungry? Let's eat!
And as you can see behind me, the fury now is starting to happen. The wind's now probably a steady 30 miles per hour, and you'll get gusts from 40 to 45 miles per hour. Of course, that's probably the outer winds of the storm. And if this is the outer winds of the storm, believe me, I don't want to experience the fury of a 140 mile per hour wind.
Don't go to sleep on this tonight and think you're going to wake up and it may be a 1 or it may be gone. Think of it as a 3 or a 4.
Now let's track this hurricane because all indications are it's coming right for Terrebonne and Lafourche.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
All right, we are back as we continue to update you on all the information. We've had a busy afternoon. We've had the Attorney General, parish presidents, captains of police departments. The Levy District is loading up on the desk right now. We're going to be with them on the next segment. But right now we have Mr. Jared Martin, the superintendent of Lafourche Parish Schools. He's going to join us via telephone. Mr. Superintendent, how are you doing? Did we lose him again, Jay? Well, let's see. Mr. Superintendent, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, good. I know we had some cell site problems, but I think we got you now. So how are you doing?
I'm doing very good, very good. Visiting schools and glad that we got a nice sunny day.
Well, let me ask you, because I know y'all are going to close on Monday again, and right when you sort of told us that or we found out the energy departments were leaving, and it sort of always takes that extra day after power was turned on to get schools cleaned up. Is that really the whole reason, or is there more?
Well, there's probably three reasons that are driving it. One, you're exactly right. Once the power gets turned back on, it's going to take us at least a day to really do some assessments of both the buildings and the mechanical systems, meaning the air conditioning systems, once we get power restored. The second reason is because we really need to get some food deliveries on Monday, even if we're able to open Tuesday, because all of the milk and perishable food items that we had in coolers obviously didn't make it through the last few days. We had backup generators for the freezers, but not the stuff that we use each day, like milk, etc. And then the third reason is because we fully anticipate a lot of the communities that we serve, they're not going to have power up until, middle of the day, Sunday, maybe Sunday evening, getting it back. And that's a real quick turnaround to have kids ready to go for school Monday morning. So it really is all three of those reasons why we opted to just give us at least through Monday to try and get schools ready for Tuesday morning.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of logistical things too, but when you say you lose food, not only that, the financial burden that is placed upon schools that are already trying to just, make everything work. Any estimate on what that costs y'all, and how do y'all get reimbursed, if anything? Is that a FEMA deal?
No, this is not going to be a FEMA claim. This is going to get reimbursed out of our checking account, so to speak, right? So
yeah,
we do not believe that anything that we're going to respond to is going to qualify for FEMA reimbursement. We don't anticipate a federal declaration of emergency, nor do we anticipate the cost of this exceeding what we have insurance for. And insurance is your primary line of defense. FEMA only kicks in after your insurance payments, and we've got a named storm insurance claim up to $20 million, and we're not even going to approach that. We're going to have a lot of costs to repair broken air conditioning systems. We're going to have a lot of costs to get the water out of buildings where we had some wind-driven rain, put water inside of some classrooms, inside of some ceilings, and we're going to have some costs as it relates to the response to that, but it's not even going to approach what Hurricane Ida did.
I mean, as a superintendent, and y'all deal with storms of this magnitude, and of course, we all went through Ida, and then you're sitting there on that eastern eyeball. Any schools that have damage that you would say you can't open them?
No, not at this time. If we can't open a school Tuesday, it likely is going to be for some reason other than the actual physical structure.
Yeah, so in other words, it's something that may be unforeseen or something develops electrically after something.
That's correct. But structurally, all of our campuses at this time appear to be ready to receive students as soon as we get power restored, and we have the food for the kids properly.
Yeah, and then I know we're losing a little connection, but your military background seems to be coming back into focus. This is sort of boots on the ground kind of activity, so I know you probably rely on that quite a bit, don't you? Did we lose him, Jay? Okay, I think we lost him. I think he finally dropped out. He's in a bad cell site. But just to give it to you in a nutshell, Terrebonne Parish Schools closed Monday. Lafourche Parish Schools closed Monday. St. Mary Parish Schools are open Monday. So if you're watching in in St. Mary, got to go to school, kids. Go on Monday. So let's make sure we get that information out. And I think it was up to 3,400 homes restored in Terrebonne Parish, from what we hear from Energy. Is that an Energy number, Jay, that was handed to me? No, that was a Terrebonne Parish number. That was Lalani that said 3,400 with power now in Terrebonne Parish under the city of Houma. So let's make sure we get that. I want to be factual about that. So, all right, so what we're going to do, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, the Levy district's going to go through some slides. Unprecedented surge in Terrebonne Parish. And I can honestly say, I didn't know if I'd ever see another Rita as far as surge. We saw it. And I'm going to tell you once again about that effect that this storm was strengthening when it came over. And that I think that'll be in the consideration for a lot of people coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Angela Hidalgo and Mitch Marmon. Don't go away.
Looking to achieve a healthier lifestyle but have little time? The Terrebonne General Executive Health Program can improve your overall health for a lifetime in one visit. With little to no waiting, you get a whole year of wellness in one convenient location. Our preventative screenings increase your well-being by providing early detection against illness. With exceptional VIP service, you leave with a plan in hand to achieve a healthier lifestyle tailored for you. Call the Terrebonne General Executive Health Team at 985-850-6204 today.
I don't think it makes a difference in the world whether or not Ground Zero is Grand Isle or Terrebonne or LaFouille. We all getting hit pretty good. Don't go to sleep on this tonight. Think of it as a 3 or 4. Y'all about to get into the northeast quadrant right now.
What they're telling me is the worst is yet to come.
See those winds we experiencing at the HTV studios? Yeah. We're on the tail. Yeah.
Just lost part of your roof.
Just in the HTV area, pretty much like a bomb went off.
We've seen utter devastation from Lafitte to Grand Isle to numerous places.
So we need help down here.
I personally want to thank you and your crew. You always bring the local news.
All right, we are back talking about another hurricane here in the parishes, but as long as we live here, we're going to deal with hurricanes. And our levies are great. They do a great job. We're going to find out how great they did. Angela Hidalgo, the executive director of the Terrebonne Parish Levy District, is with us. Mitch Marmon, the project manager, is also here. And welcome to the program. How y'all holding up?
Doing great today.
Yeah, I bet.
Doing good, Martin.
Got
some sleep last night.
Yeah, and you know, maybe I could speak because I've witnessed it over all the years since Juan, and I've seen the water that came in Terrebonne Parish during Hurricane Juan and all the storms thereafter, and they've all had a different little twist to them. But y'all are making my job a lot easier when it comes to sending people to cover parish flooding because levees in Terrebonne Parish. We used to send people on levees and just say, stay here, you're going to see it's going to flood. But we held back 11 feet of water. Is that factual?
That's right. We held back 11 feet at Bayou Terrebonne and Humboldt Canal gates. We recorded 11 feet there. It's the most we've ever recorded in any of those structures. Since I've been here, but you know, those floodgates have been around for a while, and that area typically does see the highest water. So it proved true again for this hurricane. So
you get anointed executive director, and right off the bat, you get the highest surge in Terrebonne Parish.
Yep.
Thanks, Angela.
I hope it's not indicative of what will happen in the future for sure.
No, I understand.
She handled it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. She did a great job, and looks like everything worked well. Mitch, you've been handling these projects too for a long time. What did we see? What did we witness? And what did we learn? Because I know how your brain works. You're always trying to tweak it a little better, along with Angela and everybody else.
So definitely saw water move differently during this storm than we have pretty much with all of the storms that we've had to date. It did not start off in the east and work its way west. It actually started off very high in the middle portion of Morganza and worked its way east and west. So a little different in terms of water movement. In terms of what did we learn? We learned that 12 feet is not high enough. We learned that we're not going to sleep any better knowing we have 12 feet, that we must go higher. And you know, that's we're very proud of being able to hold back what we've held back. I mean, yesterday was certainly a joyous day. You know, all the work that we've done over the last 15 or 20 years, but you know, the realism of it all is, you know, we've gotten a significant portion of this system up to 15 feet, and we need to go ahead and get the rest of it up. And we woke up this morning trying to do that. So,
and we're going to show a lot of footage coming up in the next two segments, but I just want to say that, Jay, did we get those categories up, that scale? Let's try to get that up, because talking with the captain in Morgan City just a while ago, he said that they had wind gauges breaking at 117 that stayed at 117. So here you have it, a Cat 2, 96 to 110, Category 3, 111 to 129. Now, I kept saying the whole broadcast, and maybe some people will listen to me, maybe they won't, but that this storm did what Ida did. It was getting strong over Terrebonne Parish. There's a brown ocean effect that scientists have been talking about, that when grounds are saturated with water, which we were, that the hurricane doesn't know the difference between the land and the sea. It's sucking up the saturated ground and it's exploding. Ida did the same thing. So it's a big thing, the brown ocean effect. If that's the case, in Morgan City's report 117, the surge that y'all are talking about, when it's all said and done, this may be reconsidered at 3. And we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But it's just out there for talk.
Sure, and it's certainly possible, but when you're talking surge, you know, a Category 1, a tropical storm can produce significant surge.
No doubt, we've seen that. Yeah,
So
Barry.
especially slow moving and how long the effects are having here. You know, we've had, I don't know, probably 20 inches of rainfall in the last 2 weeks here, right? But you know what? We have a unique way of getting water out compared to most places. I mean, there's a lot of avenues to get it out. So a lot of places would be really tormented by having more rain on top of what we've already had here. But, you know, any tropical storm, even low pressures have significant effects on us here, and people need to take precaution about that. The good thing is, you know, we've got a pretty good system that, you know, we just took one on the chin, and there's no doubt about it, from the wrong direction, and we came out the other side. I said yesterday that, you know, I'm standing in Pointe-au-Chien right now, and you could literally cut your grass in Pointe-au-Chien yesterday, and I have never been able to say that in my life, you know.
I've never reported that in my life.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
Right.
It really is. Let's do this. We're going to take a break. Y'all brought a lot of slides. Y'all brought some drone footage, too. Do we have drone?
Well, we took pictures from the drone, and we have still
drone.
shots for you. We're still
Okay, good.
editing the
Still gives the effect,
video.
yeah. Okay, so we'll take a break. This is going to be important stuff. This is documentation, it's history, and it's archiving, because when we're long gone, we're going to have our children, nephews, nieces dealing with this. They got a pretty good start because of what's happened. We'll be right back.
Dive into Sportsman's Paradise at Sportsman's Cycle and Marine. We're your new exclusive dealer for easy-go golf carts in St. Mary Parish. See the whole line, plus a full inventory of Sea-Doos and Yamaha Wave Runners, Honda and Yamaha Power Sports, and a huge variety of utility and off-road vehicles, plus a wide selection of accessories for everything in stock. Come visit our new 26,000-foot facility on Highway 182 in Morgan City, packed with the rides you need to live your adventure. Sportsman Cycle and Marine.
Living with constant pain in your back, the numbness in your legs, can be overwhelming. and the nerves running through the spinal cord require incredibly precise treatment. Headache and pain center specialists understand nerve pain, and it doesn't have to involve surgery. Before having major surgery on your neck or back, let's talk about your options and free yourself from pain.
And as you can see behind me, the fury now is starting to happen. The wind's now probably a steady 30 miles per hour, and you'll get gusts from 40 to 45 miles per hour. Of course, that's probably the outer winds of the storm. And if this is the outer winds of the storm, believe me, I don't want to experience the fury of a 140 mile per hour wind.
Don't go to sleep on this tonight and think you're going to wake up and it may be a 1 or it may be gone. Think of it as a 3 or a 4.
Now let's track this hurricane because all indications are it's coming right for Terrebonne and Lafourche.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodeau, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number 1 grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
All right, we're back with the Terrebonne Parish Levy and Conservation District. Ms. Angela Hidalgo, the Executive Director. Mr. Mitch Momore, the Project Manager. Both of them will be in an upcoming one-on-one. Everything's been delayed a week because of the storm, but they'll be on. We did the interviews. Let's go through some slides and let y'all jump in. And let's start with the presentation. I want people to see what their monies went to in protecting Terrebonne Parish. So we can move to the first slide, Jay. And storm, okay.
So we were on the air with you before the storm, kind of telling you, and this is just some examples of some emergency lifts that we did on projects that are under construction to achieve the highest elevation we could to be able to respond to the storm. And this is a levee section in Lower Dularge on the west side of that. And then there's some more pictures of other type of storm prep work that we've done in the parish.
Let's move it along, Jay, if we can.
Yeah. So this is the Lower Dularge East levee. It's the other side of that same levee where you can see the emergency material was placed, and we kind of roached it up just to get some elevation in that section too.
All right.
And then we did the same type of work in ongoing construction for Reach K, that's in Lafourche Parish, where we took the side material and stacked it up there. You can see some sandbags and some water control structures that we were able to put, and it's a good thing we did because that saved those areas for sure.
And I'd like to give a shout out to our contractors onshore for this particular deal, working till well past midnight right before the storm to get those things in place. And it saved those structures. Water got up right to the top of the capacity of this levee system and held. So we really got a great team of people down here. And the contractors don't always get a lot of credit, but they perform when we ask
Boots
them.
on the ground.
That's right.
All right, let's next one. Is that the next one, Jay?
This is just a picture of the system all closed for this storm. So all the floodgates and all the areas closed. It's just to show you that we closed the entire system in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep. And then after the hurricane, of course, you know, the day after, Mitch and I and our team went to do some damage assessments, and we took out our new drone and we flew all over the parish and collected these images. And you'll see a lot of debris in these pictures, but you can see this is the Dularge East levee that we showed you earlier. It stood up really well, it performed well. We had no issues in Dularge, both east and west.
Okay.
Reach E is along Falgout Canal Road, and you can see the debris line along the top of this levee, which is at a 15 feet. So if you notice where the crown of the levee is and where the debris line starts, that's what this storm looks like on a 15-foot levee.
So that was up what? How many feet on that levee?
That's probably around
8.
That's probably a little above 8, you know, with the wave action, but that's a good
pretty
site.
picture.
I mean, you got 7 foot of freeboard right there.
Yeah.
And I wish I had that luxury all the way around.
That's right.
You know,
One day we might.
we will.
Yeah, there you
We
go.
got no doubt about it. There's another 15-foot levee here, and you see plenty of freeboard. This is the
How wide are those levees?
most of them. You know, between 200 and 300 feet. It doesn't look like it here.
Right,
but,
that's what I'm saying, just so that people understand that.
Yeah. Some wider than the others. You know, if the soil is poor, then we have to build wider to go higher. But we try to fit it in as close as we can to the original alignments.
All right, next one, Jay.
Yeah.
Same thing here. This is 15 foot, and you can see the and this was just recently completed while you don't see grass on it. I mean, we just did substantial completion.
Did that concern you that you didn't have grass on it?
Always. Anything under construction is your vulnerable part. But this was so high, then obviously we were able to take it, you know.
All right, next step.
So this is another 15-foot section, but it's got a lot more debris on it. You can see that. I mean, with every storm, you're going to have debris issues and maybe a little scouring, but that's all good things. And at the end of the day, if you can roll through the rest of these, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a success story, but it's also one that you really want to make sure you keep your eye on the ball and know that
That's a
what we
beautiful
have-
picture, isn't it?
It is. It really is. What we have isn't high enough, and our structures aren't high enough, so we need to concentrate on, you know, what we need to do next, and the very next day we're assessing damages and seeing what we can do to make it better.
What do y'all do when you have all that debris on a levee? Do you just let it decompose or do you clean it?
If it's all natural material, we'll try to do that. You know, a lot of times we can windrow that to the flood side, and it kind of gives you a little extra buffer on the outside. But when we start getting a lot of trash and things like that, we actually have to go in there and collect that material and haul it off. So that's really where FEMA and these disaster declarations come in. It's difficult. We have some levees that are islands, and it's hard to get material on and off there, but we're used to it, unfortunately.
But it's, you know, last time I saw a lot of these levees, they had dirt on them. Now they got green, lush grass on it. And as an engineer, Mitch, how important is that for the audience to just hold that soil together?
Not only that, rainfall will destroy your levee if you don't have adequate grass growth on it. But yeah, I mean, it's super important that you establish turf, and you know, we've had the dickens of time of, you know, when we're using side cast material that's full of salt, getting grass to grow on some of these, but we haul most of our material in now. So
let's do this. We'll take a break. We're going to come back, final segment, on a very stellar job by the Terrebonne Parish Levee District. This is just unprecedented surge waters that was threatening Terrebonne Parish. And we're going to talk about the fact, when we come back, if these levees would not have been here, what you'd be looking at, not to scare you, just to show you that the tax dollars you spent, they just paid for themselves and much, much more. We'll be right back.
Broussard's Automotive Repair and Tires, your trusted destination for automotive excellence in Houma. We proudly feature the ASC certified expertise of our team with an ASC Master Certified Mechanic always on duty. Locally owned and operated, Broussard's Automotive Repair and Tires is committed to ensuring your vehicle runs smoothly and safely. Our hours are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. Broussard's Automotive Repair and Tires. Quality service at a great price.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
And as you can see behind me, the fury now is starting to happen. The wind's now probably a steady 30 miles per hour, and you'll get gusts from 40 to 45 miles per hour. Of course, that's probably the outer winds of the storm. And if this is the outer winds of the storm, believe me, I don't want to experience the fury of a 140 mile per hour wind.
Don't go to sleep on this tonight and think you're going to wake up and it may be a 1 or it may be gone. Think of it as a 3 or a 4.
Now let's track this hurricane because all indications are it's coming right for Terrebonne and Lafourche.
From the moment you walk into the showroom floor at Trapp Cadillac, you understand our commitment to providing a truly exceptional experience for all returning and new customers.
Our goal is to make sure you're always comfortable while understanding the entire process of getting into your new Trapp Cadillac.
When you drive a Trapp Cadillac, you know performance, bold styling, and our sure commitment to service.
One thing you can always count on here at Trapp Cadillac is our excellent service experience.
For years, the Cajun Meat Market has been the premier place to handle all of your meat market needs. And we don't stop there. We serve breakfast, lunch, and provide home-cooked family meals. All of our specialty meats are made from scratch by our butcher. Bring us your game meat and we'll do the rest. If it's a gift basket you need, you've made the right choice. We cater the basket to whatever you want. See why so many count on Cajun Meat Market on Mystic Boulevard in Houma for all of your food service meats. Cajun Meat Market, where you can't beat Cajun meat.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering health care to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
All right, we are back. We're going to wrap up with the Levy District here in Terrebonne Parish. Miss Angela Hidalgo, she's the executive director of that district, and also Mr. Mitch Mormon, the project manager. And talking about watching these waters and the unprecedented amount that was against that wall. I never thought when we were prepping everybody for Cat 1, I always say Cat 2 because I always add one, that we'd be talking about, you know, Gordy called me the next day, he said, you said 10 foot, Martin. I said, yeah, but they said 5 to 10.
Right.
And I said, just prepare for 10. Just like I always tell people, prepare for 1 over with the winds. Did y'all really think we were going to get, let's be honest, did y'all think we were going to get 11 feet?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, we were looking at the same models that the weather forecasters were looking at, and we were actually doing like you do, and they project the actual path, and then they go right 50% and right 100% to the edge of the cone. And we were planning for 1 over, you know, one scenario worse or one scenario east than what they were forecasting. And we were pretty close, but I really thought maybe 10. I was hoping for 9, and to see 11 was shocking.
And I know, Mitch, when y'all are seeing this, because let's face it, we have talked to a lot of people that are spending money on themselves, and it's a tenseful situation when you're watching this and you're going, okay, all the eggs in the basket now. But when you're seeing this protection actually work, it's got to be like winning the Super Bowl in your realm.
It certainly is an unbelievable relief. I guess I can't explain the stress that you go through prior to these storms. You know, you're always confident that what you did is we've done everything we possibly could. I think, you know, we always leave it all out on the football field in terms of spending every cent that we have to put towards the effective protection that we need. But, you know, Mother Nature is pretty difficult, you know, and you know, we say it all the time. Every one of these storms is different, and you just learn as much as you can. And luckily, we've had a lot of people who have been around a long time and have seen a lot of things. So, you know, that's what we started on this morning was making it a little bit more resilient than it currently is. So, I'm tired of not sleeping, you know, the days prior to a storm, but we're gonna make it better, and I got confidence in that.
And Angela, how important was it that, are we still at 0 homes flooded?
We are.
I never thought I'd ever sit on this news desk and say that after seeing Rita with, you know, nearly 12,000, then we knocked it down to 11, then 3, then 0, and that was pretty much the talk yesterday. But, and I know a different thing is FEMA, and y'all have to be nice because y'all got to work with the people and get everything. I can beat them up as much as I want, but hopefully we can start getting the investment back because we've saved the federal government billions.
That's right.
$2 or $3 billion when we're talking about this stuff. How much water would have been in Houma if these walls weren't there?
I don't know how much water exactly, but I could say that we might not be sitting here right now. You know, so having the levee system built in the way that we built it is the only reason that we are able to have conversations and meetings, and people are going back to work the day after the storm. And like Mitch said, cutting the grass the day after the storm. You know, we built these levees and lifts, and the reason we had 11 homes flood that year is because we weren't finished building it.
Yeah.
So, you know, our initial goal was 10 feet. We accomplished 10 feet, and now we're going to 15 feet. And we're going to keep on going. And had we stayed at 8 feet or something like that, we would have had overtopping everywhere. This whole system would have been inundated. And
where we did overtop, Mitch, the redundant levees or the reservoirs outside them did their job?
Yeah, I mean, I think the overtopping that occurred was wave action more than actually surge. I don't think we had any. I didn't see any evidence of levees straight going underwater like we've seen many times over the past.
Yeah.
Lots of wave action. I mean, you know, you get 8-9 foot of water. I mean, it's not still. I mean, they've got 3-4 foot waves crashing on top of that. But you know, the hard structures can handle that. You know, the big reservoirs inside can handle that. But I'd like more freeboard for sure. You know, 8 feet at Bubba Dove is by far the highest surge we've ever had at Bubba Dove. I mean, not even close to anything in the past. And, you know, including Rita and all those. I mean, we just didn't have that.
Just
kind of
real quick, got about a minute and a half left. We have a pretty good reverse head on this too, didn't we?
High rainwater on the inside, not terribly bad. I mean, we were able to go ahead and open some stuff up without, you know, fear of damaging any floodgates, but did its job.
Yeah.
You know, it really
did. That's the third reverse head I think we've had in a few years. So we learned something there for sure. I want to commend y'all for what y'all have done. It's been unbelievable to see y'all in action and to be ferocious as y'all are. And I use everywhere from pit bulls to Rottweilers to everything to describe how y'all get through this sometimes. But I think the parish owe y'all a big hug and gratitude for what y'all have done, and keep up the great work. I know it ain't over yet, but we survived another hurricane. So thank you all very, very much.
Well, thank you. And a lot of people deserve credit.
Yes,
we
they
do work for General Patton over at the Levy District.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. And that's going to wrap up our coverage here. We're going to keep coming to you on different things with updates and all. And we appreciate the public tuning in. We've had record numbers ourselves on the amount of people watching for this coverage. And it's good to be able to document what's happened in this parish from way back in '85, Hurricane Juan, until now. We've come a long way. We'll see you again soon.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
See your local GMC dealer.
Our bayous are staples of our Southern culture. They have been a source of food, transportation, recreations for generations. Our crews will continue hard working to clean the bayous and keep Terrebonne beautiful in the present and for the future.
Litter doesn't just look bad, it also impacts our drainage systems, ecosystems, and wildlife. Keeping our bayous clean means keeping our drains clean and preserving our wildlife and cultural heritage.
Our bayous are the heart and soul of our parish. That's why I'm proud to announce TPCG's Bayou Revival Campaign. Together, administration with Public Works and Solid Waste will be working to clear debris and litter out of our 5 main bayous. Together, we can move Terrebonne Parish forward. Lash Pala Patat.
Working together on a common goal improves neighborhoods, communities, and the parish as a whole. You can do your part to support our Bayou Revival initiative by volunteering at local cleanup events, disposing of trash properly, and encouraging your friends and family to take pride in our parish.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
And as you can see behind me, the fury now is starting to happen. The wind's now probably a steady 30 miles per hour, and you'll get gusts from 40 to 45 miles per hour. Of course, that's probably the outer winds of the storm. And if this is the outer winds of the storm, believe me, I don't want to experience the fury of a 140 mile per hour wind.
Don't go to sleep on this tonight and think you're going to wake up and it may be a 1 or it may be gone. Think of it as a 3 or a 4. Now let's track this hurricane because all indications are it's coming right for Terrebonne and Lafourche.
Terrebonne Parish School District is now hiring bus drivers. A valid CDL is required. If you don't have a